Child.
Accelerate, elevate, and be slim. Order now at healthylooking.com or 800-394-9930. Don't forget promo code yours for free shipping. That's 800-394-9930 or healthylooking.com. Well, next hour, you may very well find out if we're floating the universe, but have you ever wondered if we're alone in this vast universe? Marvelous Entertainment has released the newest in science fiction and specifically deals with this question. Marvin Sunderland is the expert. He's the certified film director and web developer. Army veteran, and he's the genius behind the sci-fi novels that include a 7-novel masterpiece, bringing out the very best of your imagination. The star of his book is called Sergeant Wagon, and he's in search for a crashed alien spaceship that leads to an alien invasion. So brace yourself, as there could be a war underway in the underworld. Sergeant Wagon does all he can to save humanity. Get 20% off the entire 7-novel series and all future graphic novels by entering coupon code Coast to Coast, all lowercase, at marvelous.com. It's marvelous.com. marvelous.com.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest. Sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except if you have to strain your system out. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us to your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Maxwell is scratching and bruised with her hair. My vet, she said, oh, he must be allergic to chicken. Another vet, and eats a grain. Third vet said he's allergic. Then somebody said, it took 2 weeks, and the dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out. It was dynamite, big part of Maxwell's diet. And your dog will be And welcome back to Coast, George Doherty with you along with Joel Sullivan. Joel, the farming industry generally skews older ages. Are we going to have enough young people to back up folks like you when you retire?
Well, it's one of the elephants in the room right now in agriculture is that the average farmer is now 60 years old, and in business parlance, that's about 25 years older than what we know is the median age of an economic sector that's vital, which is about 35 years old. We haven't seen 35-year-old average farmers for a long, long time. So the question is, well, what is this? And I would suggest that the main reason is that when young people can't get in, old people can't get out. So both generations are stuck. And of course, we know actuarials indicate that in the next 15 years, roughly half of all America's agriculture equity is going to change hands, whether that's inherited by kids that want it or don't want it, or sold or whatever. And so, yes, we are in a very interesting time. There's never been that much agriculture equity change hands in any civilization in history, except through conquest. I'm not suggesting we're getting ready to be conquested. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But we are in completely uncharted waters here as a civilization. When we have this much agriculture equity getting ready to take hands this rapidly. And so that's why on our farm we developed mobile infrastructure so that a young person can enter farming on rented land, borrowed land, collaborated land, and build additional enterprises on an existing land base. So you can run, for example, the chicken, you can run them under an orchard, you can run them as an adjunct in a hay operation, a dairy, a beef operation, wheat, corn, whatever. And mobile infrastructure means that you don't have to own the land because you can move your farm, a mobile farm, land, and you can have a mobile farm. You can place it anywhere. We've got young people farming, on easement land in California, that's been locked up for green space, all the way to to collaborating, building a farm, for example, on a restaurant property, and you can grow the food there. So the mobility of a farming enterprise is critical for creating on ramps for the next generation.
What's an acre of farmland going for?
Well, it depends on where you are. I mean, where we are, it's now, I don't know, what, $7,000-8,000 an acre. If you're down in, if you're more in the kind of Mississippi, Mississippi, within 50 miles of Mississippi, it'll normally be half that or less. Obviously, when you head up to the air and west, you get into the dry country there, Nevada, Idaho, New Mexico, those kind of places, it'll drop to $1,000 an acre, and so that there is certainly differences on what you have water or not.
So let's go back to the phones. Let's go to whose turn is it? Todd in Bellevue, Washington. Welcome to the show. Hey, Todd, go ahead.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now, in 1982, Bruce Dickinson foretold Bill Gates' global cooling program in the storm total eclipse. Said sunrise is gone, freezing up the fires. Now, I would like to ask you, do you believe in combating Bill Gates' global warming program by eating In-N-Out burgers 3 times a day? And how do you feel about exoskeletons of insects invading the U.S. food supply, which was on newswars.com?
Okay, so I'm in favor of any. You mentioned In-N-Out Burger. That's a brand. That's a chain, a brand chain. I'm in favor of any food alternative that is honoring more to our ecological, umbilical. I don't know that In-N-Out does that, but there's a dearth of alternatives right now in the country. We need alternatives to McDonald's, Burger King, and things like that. As far as that, we're all going to eat grasshoppers and crickets. I just visited a cricket farm down in Tennessee a couple months ago. In fact, 4 of them went out of business. They all went out the same day with the feed company. Again, all of these alternatives, they don't just grow out of thin air.
What are they raising crickets for, by the way?
Well, fishing. The crickets went out of business. These crickets were not going into human food. They were growing for zoo animals. They all went out of business the same day because the feed company mixed some pesticides in the feed, and it's where somebody pushed the wrong button and killed all the crickets, and the farm went out of business. But all of these things require. What I'm going with this is that they had huge hoppers of feed that is like a chicken house, like anything else, requires food. So if the people like Bill Gates and stuff that are going lab fed, fake all this, that they act like this stuff can be grown out of just thin air, but it takes train carloads of feedstock. You can't grow something out of nothing. And so if we go to fake meat, lab meat, artificial like this, what's the feedstock? Well, the feedstock's going to be corn and soybeans, which is, if you don't have a carbon decomposition system for that, it's a devastating land use policy. Right now, I think every bushel of corn costs us something like 2 bushels of soil on average in general. Now, if you combine it with animals on site, if you rotate it a little bit, there's a whole shitload that exists on that topic. But generally, what we want is anything that is more honoring to the natural template.
Let's go to Tony, Truman. Waltham, Pennsylvania. Walt, go ahead.
Hi, George. George, I agree with a lot of what Joel is saying, but I think it's a bit unrealistic to 8 billion humans on this planet, and it would be nice if we were all born with 40 acres and a mule, George, but I think that's a bit like to create the Garden of Eden in our society today. I think it's a bit unrealistic. As far as genetically modified plants and animals, just because something is done by man or manipulated by man doesn't necessarily mean that it's detrimental. I was mentioning to Tom that, through hybridization and this marvelous technique we have in botany and horticulture grafting, it's theoretically possible to graft apples onto, let's say, a poison ivy vine. Poison ivy is a notoriously vigorous vine, and you could probably produce 10 times the amount of apples on these vines and harvest them very cost effectively with machinery as opposed to growing them on trees where you have to hire people to climb a rise and pick them that way. So I would just, say that we have to be careful not to be overly paranoid about genetically modified organisms and artificial fertilizers and chemicals like Roundup, etc.
Yeah, but they don't seem to be safe, are they, Joel? The Roundup is lost in court.
Oh, absolutely, it has. Of course, they're winning. They're winning some of these jury trials now, which is why it looks like their $7 billion, a liability fund is going to last. But to Walter's point, I appreciate the pushback in the call. That as far as feeding the humans, listen. As I mentioned earlier, if we had had a Manhattan Project for compost, not only would we have fed the world, we would have done it without all of the externalized consequences and side effects of chemical agriculture. So, yes, we can recreate, we can bring back the Garden of Eden, but it's not going to happen with chemicals, it's going to happen with carbon and solar grow carbon, biomass, just like it has throughout history. And we can't feed the world. In fact, this is the only system that can feed the world long term and sustainably. And as far as manipulation, of course, I mean, even when I go out and move the cows from paddock to paddock, that's human manipulation. I'm not opposed to human manipulation. What I am opposed to is when we go in and we manipulate so far beyond the boundaries that nature has erected for us, and we put through those boundaries like a bunch of swashbuckling pirates into a mystical, majestic, unbelievable system. I mean, we don't even know why earthworm turns right or left. We don't. There are so many things in this that we don't know, and we wade in there and we grab apples on poison ivy. I'm not sure I want to eat apples on poison ivy. Just because we can, should we? And are those the weaklings? They're not the weaklings. Our farm produces 5 times the county average, and we do it with carbon and compost and management. I'm not bragging. I'm simply humbly paying homage to an infinitely, wonderfully made system. That it's our prerogative to say, are we going to work within the system, or are we going to work outside the system as if the system is broken and we've got to fix it? And so that's the difference. And to your point, be careful not to be paranoid. I am paranoid about stuff that kills bees and kills earthworms on contact. Yes, I am paranoid about that.
Next up, Terry's truck driving in Virginia. You're next to Woods. Welcome to the show. Hi, Terry.
Hey, good morning, George. It's a pleasure to talk to you finally, sir.
Thank you.
And Joel, it's a pleasure to talk to you again, sir. Thank you. Yeah, just a real quick story. Back in 2017, I started my truck driving career, and I started doing local pickups and deliveries. And I was thumbing through my bills one morning, my deliveries, and saw polythene forms. And I was like, what in the world is this? So anyways, I get there, I make the delivery, I believe he came out with the truck and helped me unload everything. And I went on my
about a year or so, and I'm listening to Kevin Buster, and the Messenger Farm thing, Holiday Farm. I'm like, why does that sound so familiar? And I keep listening, and then he says your name, and I'm like, man, I know this name somehow. So pull up the old Google machine. I'm like, I know that now. I remember I made delivery fees. That weekend, I made it a point, and once I realized listening to Kevin that you told me this and that and the other, I was trying to make a difference in healthier lifestyle. So I made it a point. I said, I'm going out there to see what this place is all about. And I went out there and I spent hours on your farm, sir. Had no idea that you had a shop there. I bought all kinds of meat. So I made a point to buy a New York strip. And I went home, saw or froze some of it, and I sent one out. Well, I had some New York strips from Walmart in the black packaging, it's supposed to be the best. So I seasoned them both the same, I cooked them both the same, and I told my wife, I was like, here, try this, tell me which one you like better, and immediately, without even a second guess, she picked out your steak. I just want to say, sir, thank you for everything that you do. Listening to Kevin and reading your book, I understand the mud that you had to drug through, and thank you for putting up with criticism and doing what you do, sir. Your products are second to none. Well, thank you, Jerry. This was completely unsolicited, and you can pick up your commission check when you come back.
Joel, the clock is down. Let's keep in touch with us. We'd like to use you as a source when things go up and down, okay?
Thank you, George, very much.
You take care of yourself. Up next, the Zetas. They're coming by. Stand by. Coast Insiders. The new version of the Coast to Coast AM app is now available for iPhone and now Android 4.0 and above. Listen live or on demand anywhere, anytime. Go to coasttocoastam.com and download it today. If you've been thinking about selling your home, the real estate market is changing. But before you call an agent, call Seller's Advantage. Seller's Advantage is focused on the seller's needs. They'll make you a competitive cash offer and they can close in days. No agent, no commissions. Getting your home ready to list can be expensive, complicated, and you may not want people coming in and out of your house. Well, that's true. Seller's Advantage makes the selling process easy so that the sellers walk away happy. They may even offer a $10,000 advance to help with moving expenses. Get a no obligation offer at 888-302 as is. 888-302 as is. 888-302 as is. SellersAdvantage.com. Sellers Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Sellers Advantage. DRE number 0116165. Get it accurate. Say, I want my medical bill paid. I want my car fixed. I want my money. I want my accident lawyer. 920-920-0810. The True Crime Podcast, Paper Ghost, is back with a brand new case. Season 3 gets deep into the 1992 cold case murder of Annie Jo Lewicki, a New Jersey college student, and uncovers a murky police investigation, a pool of new suspects, and the community still desperate for answers 30 years later.
Tammy's supposed to be on campus, and she's not here, and people are starting to get worried.
Listen to Paper Ghost on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
The California Conference for Women is offering two exciting experiences this year: an in-person gathering on March 1st and a virtual event on March 2nd, featuring Mexico by Naomi Osaka comes with through-in top experts on leadership, well-being, and career advancement. Learn more and register at caconferenceforwomen.org.
Portions of the following program will be recorded.
Anything different? Los Angeles, Orange County, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. A whole lot of money for the homeless. I mean, King and KFI 24-hour newsroom. LA County has unanimously approved a nearly $610 million budget to battle homelessness. Mayor Karen Bass says she won't accept the city's homelessness crisis.
We must bring people indoors faster, and we will. We must build housing faster, and we will.
The budget was approved Tuesday, just over 2 months since Bass declared a state of emergency on homelessness. The county says its initiative plan will help move people from camp into more permanent housing. The Turkish Cultural Center in Irvine is working to gather donations for people impacted by the catastrophic earthquake.
And it's only a cultural center is collecting coats, blankets, and other items to keep displaced people warm in the blistering cold temperatures. The center's Akila Kahadeji said he personally knows more than a dozen families from Southern California who lost loved ones in the quake.
One family member, as I said, was looking for their uncle, and then they heard his voice under the rubble. They're still trying to reach him.
The center says Monday is the deadline for people to drop items off. The center is also helping to coordinate cash donations with a nonprofit organization like TRILLIONAIRE.
Just over 27 million people tuned in to watch President Biden's State of the Union address Tuesday night. About 30% fewer than tuned in for the 2022 State of the Union. It was the second smallest audience in over 30 years. Fox has most people watching it, about 4.6 million tuned in on Fox. Pennsylvania Democratic Senator John Fetterman is in the hospital after complaining of feeling lightheaded. Spokesman says initial tests last night did not show evidence of a new stroke. Fetterman defeated celebrity Dr. Mehmet Oz in November to win the Senate seat despite suffering a stroke last May. Disney may not be the happiest place on earth for a lot of its workers. The company announced it is overseeing important strategic changes that will include ways to make streaming more profitable, improve the guest experience in parks, and lay off 7,000 employees in the coming weeks and months. Part of Disneyland is turning blue. Disney CEO Bob Iger announced during the company's first quarter earnings call that there will be an avatar experience in Disneyland, with details coming later. Rumors are it could be built in Tomorrowland. Southland weather from KFI, sunny with highs in the 70s to low 80s, 60s and 70s Friday. Partly cloudy Saturday and Sunday with a slight chance of showers late Saturday and early Sunday. 54 in Fullerton, 52 Rancho Santa Margarita, 57 in Palos Verdes, 53 in Santa Monica. We live local in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Amy King.
Hey, all, it's Steve Charles. Did you hear the news? Yeah, California Utilities Commission just changed the rates by which solar customers are credited for their power output. It's called net metering 3.0. Now the law, no one's happy about it because it means getting 75% less credit from the big power companies. But good news is there's a grandfathering period, and you can still permanently lock in awesome rates of net metering 2.0. But you need to have your solar documents filed by April 14th. The point is that if you have ever thought about going solar, now is the time. Which means now is the time to call Sunlux. Sunlux will walk you through how to lock in net metering 2.0 by the April 14th deadline. Even if you're not ready to install the system, call Sunlux and get your solar documents filed. There is no time to waste to lock in the best returns on solar you will ever see. Start today at sunlux.com. Sunlux.com. CSLD 100.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers to walk off effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today. iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Okay, guys, Valentine's Day is coming up, and I'm going to tell you how to give the best gift ever. Flowers are great, but giving an experience is even better. So check out Rosetta Stone, a subscription to their language learning app. It's perfect if your partner wants to travel, or wants to connect better with a family member, or if you're looking for something that two of you can do together. Right now, get $120 off lifetime unlimited records. You'll have access to 25 of Rosetta Stone's languages. At rosettastone.com.
With the awards, make it fun. And now the top 5 reasons to visit Morocco. Number 5.
Food is love. Get Valentine's Day stuffed into a Dia Castillo and Wilpine Cafe.
Number 4.
Then gift giving. Get a Tucson Place and earn your first 500 points on your reward card. The first game is 13.
3.
Big game rollout. Prizes, freebies, fun. You can even win a grand in cash they say. Hits in a weekend flip, balloons, $20 free play, all for a special price. Book now.
Toronto Casino Resort and Spa. Morocco, good times for everybody. Chlorinated water is for swimming, not drinking and bathing. Chlorine causes your skin and hair to dry out. How about upgrading to a light source water system? Our light source system filters your water from every tap, reducing the harsh taste and feel of chlorine to keep your body gets better. No maintenance, no salt, no filters or servicing. Call 800-803-2696 for a free consultation. Visit lightsourcewater.com. Light Source, taste and feel the difference. This is Jacob and Ron. If you've been in an accident, call 844-24-JACOB. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. KFI AM 640.
Injured in an accident? Visit superhomasuperlayer.com.
KFI AM 640. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his side and gin. I'm not yet sure how it goes, but it's standing next to me and I knew it complete. When I was a younger man's clothes. La 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 Sing us the song, you're the piano man. Sing us the song tonight. When I'm in the mood for a melody, you gotta feel alright. This is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Singular Reticuli is a wide binary star system in the southern constellation of Reticuli. In the southern hemisphere, the pair can be seen with the naked eye as a double star in the very dark skies. Others with binoculars. In a moment throughout tonight, you're going to meet two people who claim to have interacted with this Vegas. We'll talk to them on Coast to Coast AM. Identity theft can be a huge disruption.
I never turn this one up.
How much quickly depends on a couple things.
But I turn it up.
Identity theft and the acting quickly and diligently to
I
resolve
think
the
they
issue.
fucking kill me.
Fraudulent credit card charges might take days to resolve, whereas someone taking out loans or applying for jobs or apartments in your name could take weeks or months to resolve. And it's important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives. Your personal information gets exposed so often, making it dangerously easy for a cyber criminal to steal your identity. And protecting your identity can be easy with LifeLock by Norton. LifeLock detects and alerts you to potential identity threats that you might not spot on your own. Loans taken out of your name, crimes committed by thieves pretending to be you. And if you do become a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but it's easy to help protect yourself with LifeLock. So join now and save up to 25% off your first year with promo code GEORGE. Head on over to lifelock.com or call 1-800-LIFELOCK and use promo code GEORGE for 25% off.
Tired of overpaying for your cell phone bill? Switch to Consumer Cellular and save up to half on your wireless plan. Their award-winning 100% U.S.-based customer support team makes switching easy. Plus, you can keep your phone and number with no contract or activation fees. They offer unlimited talk and text with a flexible data plan starting at just $20 a month. You can easily add your family and friends to your plan for just $15 a month per line. Never worry about dropped calls. Consumer Cellular has the exact same coverage as the major carriers to over 99% of the nation. This is all backed by their 100% risk-free guarantee. Join the millions of others who have switched. Go to consumercellular.com/radio25 and for a limited time, get $25 off when you use promo code radio25. That's consumercellular.com/radio25. Promo code radio25.
Yo, John.
And welcome back to Coast. George going with you, Paul Hannon with us, and later on, Cyan will join us. They're both lifelong contactees of the Zeta race and have clear conscious recall of their contact, which begins that they work with and these beings that they are. They are both deep trance mediums working with spirit guides to assist others. Paul's earliest memories of being visited by the Zetas are from when he was 18 months old. Cyan's earliest memories of contact with the Zetas are from 4 years old, where she was introduced to a small boy of a similar age. She met the same boy on board the craft several years later. This boy ended up being Paul. Both she and Paul have the same shared memory of time on board the craft, as well as many other shared and separate experiences on craft being with the Zetas. First of all, here's Paul. Paul, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yo, Doc.
Looking forward to this as well. How far back do you remember this episode when you were 4 years old?
I've got very, very good recall. I remember seeing the Zetas, child. I'd often go outside at night, looking at the sky, sort of talking to these beings. Of course, back then, there was no TV that we had, there was no internet. Why, I sort of managed to be talking to these beings, but I wasn't even aware that they were extraterrestrials at that age, of course. Obviously as I got older, I realised what was going on.
Can you tell us how this started for you, Paul? What happened?
Yes, sure. It was probably about when I was 18, I was in Melbourne in Australia, and I was with a friend, and we were in a block unit, about three stories up. And I was standing at the kitchen window looking out, and craft appeared, about 7 or 8 metres across. And I said to my friend that was helping me do the dishes, can you see that? He said that he could. And then the side of the craft was only about sort of 8 to 10 metres away from the window. Beside me, there were 2 extraterrestrials appeared through the side of the craft. And some of our friends that had come to the house or the unit where we were, we let them in, and they came over and they could see the beings as well. So this craft actually sat there for about 5 minutes, and we were able to see these beings quite clearly. We didn't even know, we'd never seen anything like this. Then when I was about 23, I woke up one morning getting ready for work, and the lights were off. I got dressed. I walked to the kitchen as I reached out to turn the lights, just kind of heard a rustle in the corner noise, and this being lunged at me and grabbed me by the left arm, and I was pretty strong, and I started wrestling with her, and another being jumped on the other side of me, and then I was sort of worried then, and then the third being jumped on me, and I went down, and that's all I remember. So I woke up thinking that it was a dream, and so I looked down and I realised I had my clothes on, and my shirt was on backwards. When I was about 40 years old, spirits started coming, and I had no idea what was going on. It was just a complete disaster. And I was thinking to myself, could this get any worse? And then, as I was much older, about 48, I started to see the extraterrestrials moving around my house. It was actually a bit, somehow, the fabric or the energy around me started to shift to the point where I was now able to see them, but I couldn't contact them. I couldn't talk to them. I knew that they were coming into the house, so I had no way to be able to sort of evidence that contact. I started to develop also as a medium quite heavily at that time, doing deep trance work, and I had a few people that would come to the house and speak with me, and they were telling me that they were seeing an extraterrestrial face over the top of mine. And so we put up some sort of small video camera, and we were able to record this face that was turning up. Someone said to them what they were seeking proving to the people. Someone said, look, if you're who you say you are, then you should be able to bring a class. You alien say that you fly around in class. Not that it's a great idea, and yet but you'll forget to bring a class. So for about 2 weeks, every time I sat, they would come and they would talk about being in the class, and I got to the point where I thought it wasn't going to happen. And I'd organised for a group of people to be there when the class came because I wanted evidence. I didn't want to have to start taking pictures. I wanted testimony to be able to see it. What happened was, we had about 20 people with me. We were in a big circle sitting on a property, and the steam rolled in, and all the dogs were howling on the property. It was massive property. And the craft landed and the beams came out and they walked around everybody. And a lot of the people that were there, it's sort of a neat surprise. There was something going on where they were not able to actually, interact with the beings at all. They were able to sit down and keep their eyes closed, and other people had their eyes open. But then some of them, and myself included, I had my eyes open. The beings that kind of put their hands on their shoulders, so they were walking around them. The ground was really rocky, and so you could hear anybody walking around. There was about 8 to 10 beings walking around behind us. And then after that, the colours with the class coming, Kathleen Martin contacted me as the healer. And so we asked the leaders, they said they would, and then 3 days later, they put Kathleen onto a class and they healed her permanently. That was really good of them to do that.
Paul, about how many contact moments have you had with these things?
Hundreds of not craft landing, of course, but actual contact with them of many.
Are they doing this with other people on this planet?
I think that they are, but the problem that we've got is we can't contact what contact is. So a lot of the contact is buried behind screen memories. And because it's buried behind some narrative, like some person will have a dream, they go to class, they think they're flying the class, what will happen is that the person will either believe that they're on a class, flying a class, or dreaming about a class, but that wasn't happening at all. They were given a screen narrative by the extraterrestrials. I would suggest there's a large amount of people globally that are being contacted, but they don't know because of the screen memories.
You also channel the Zetas, don't you?
Yes, that's right. So I do public settings. Generally 30 or 40 people will come and they'll talk to the people. And that's how a few of the books came about. So the scientists came and spoke to the people. And we wrote a book called Assignment of the Victory. And then the second book, about 700 pages, is called The Featured Interviews. And we give those 2 books away for free.
Paul's website, of course, is linked up at coasttocoastam.com. It's called ZetaConnection.com. A couple of his books include The Zeta Race Inside the Hive Mind and also a primer of the Zeta Race as well. Would you say that the Zetas are friendly, Paul?
I would suggest that the Zetas themselves are friendly, or they look very much like some grey race, but they're actually not. Although they're part of a species, the grey species, they are not the actual greys, the ones that are accused of doing all the abductions. So the Zetas themselves have only been positive, have always been honest in their dealings with people, have done the healing, have come when they said that they would. When they said they'd bring a cross, they did. Basically, you can only ever take somebody at their word.
So, this is an amazing thing. Now, tell me about the relationship with Simon, who we will meet shortly.
I was contacted by Brian many years ago, and we started to talk. She was telling me that she had extraterrestrial contact. I I didn't remember at all what I'd met her on class. And we started talking, and one of the experiences she had, I realised that might happen when I was younger myself. She came across and did a sitting with the leaders, and she realised that after talking to them, that they knew things about her that I didn't know. And so when they told her that she'd been on class and what had happened to her on class, she knew that what she'd experienced was real as well. Simon and I definitely have different, and any time we work with the leaders, or we say, that the leaders come and reveal somebody or whatever, we ask them to write testimonies and, sort of to evidence that process.
Oh, what do the Zetas want with us?
I would suggest that the Zetas are looking to try to support humanity to be the best that they can possibly be. They see that on the timeline that the capacity for humans to have problems in their own development, we've moved past that massive blockage that we have to the race. And we're into a new level of consciousness, but in the physical 3D state.
Oh, for sure.
It means that we need to have beings with us that can help us to identify what is a better type of consciousness to have, rather than the one that is very three-dimensional based in regards to conflicts and problems, all these issues that are occurring at the moment.
Well, when we Earthlings see UFOs, spot UFOs, what percent of them could be a Zeta craft?
That's a massive question, because a lot of the things that you see, because, so imagine this, you're looking into the night sky, you're doing C5, and you are generating consciousness. Consciousness reflects back to a group of people or yourself. What do you want to see? You have a desire to be class. So often consciousness will reflect back itself. So to say, well, are these classes from the Zetas? Yes, there are classes. Are these classes a construct of the human mind? They can be as well. So this is why when people see a class, if you can see the class by doing a calling in process like C5, they should be asking the class to come in closer, much closer, so that ultimately they can have good evidence of contact rather than just being trusted lights in the sky.
What do they think of us?
They think that humans as a race have massive potential to be much better than they are. And it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the human race. It just means that they understand that in consciousness, our abilities are so high that each of us has the potential to be so much more that they would easily, work with people. They like to spend, giving information, giving information. That's why they see places in the books, because I only give them away. Because we want people to read the books and understand what is the potential of human beings to understand how to link, relationships with the planet. And that's probably one of the most important things.
Paul, were your parents aware of this episode since you were 18 months old when these were happening? Did they know what was going on?
No. When I speak to them about it, that's passed over now. When I spoke to my parents about it, they knew something was going on, but they were too terrified to talk to me about it. I had to basically face it and go through it myself.
How old were you when you attempted to talk to them about this?
I started talking to them when I was about 40. So they would come into the house, and I would see them as a distortion, not as a full form of being. And in doing so, I would talk to them and say, is there anything that you'd like to talk to me about? Because obviously you always challenge your own cognitive state. Am I seeing something? What is this really happening? you surely be challenging what's going on. And that's why when I got to the point where I was able to get into evidence themselves by people, contact or healing or even their being in the past, that's when I started to really, work towards getting a better line of communication with them. What they did was they taught me a method for contacting them, and that method's called heterodyne. And it doesn't have an E to C5. And that's the method that they prefer for contact because it has to do with like binaural beats, using consciousness to it.
And tell us a little bit more. How would you contact them? In a different state of mind or something? You go into like a trance state?
So what happens is every day you breathe. So, breathing is the first thing that you do when you're born and the last thing you do when you pass over. Internally in your breath is harmonics. And those harmonics are very, very subtle. Every time you breathe a level of harmonics. And so if you understand how to use your breath work correctly, you can create a sustained level of energy around yourself. Once you do that, we could call that a sphere technique. Once you create that sphere, you can then populate it with your own consciousness and seek out contact with other beings. These heterodyne states are where you start to then interact with other beings. Now, of course, you need to evidence that because you don't know whether it's a spirit person coming to you or not. Because spirits also use a similar process to heterodyne, but a lot of that contact with them is mind, mental mediumship. So I suggest that most people can learn how to do this process, but it's more about spending the time learning about your own energy, learning about how to breathe properly, learning about your harmonics, learning about how to hold your own energy, and also how to breathe correctly, and go into a very clear state of stillness that gets the trust require for contact.
Why do they still cloak and dagger and not make themselves public to us?
That's a good question. It's a whole cloak and dagger thing to do with, I'm sure you've heard of Gary Nolan, and he part of this work with what are the effects of humans when they come near plants. And what we found is, myself included, when the baby came on with oxygen in the beginning you get burnt from the bottom of face. And so we have to work out, well, why is this happening? And it's to do with frequency. And so the whole reason for cloak and dagger is because if they truly came, either humans would do two things. They'd either be physically harmed by the technology that the city has, or they would probably black out. The person would just go unconscious because their level of consciousness is fairly high. And when you're in their energy, their heterodyne state is so high that you as a human would have problems staying conscious. Because most times you'll notice when they do contact people are asleep.
That's true. Stay with us, Paul. We're going to take a quick break. We'll talk to Cyan.
People are talking more of all I don't know.
Right here on Coast to Coast AM. So up next is Cyan. She too is a contactee with the Zetas. And this all happened to her when she was 4 years old.
Coast Insiders, the new version of the Coast to Coast AM app is now available for iPhone and now Android 4.0 and above. Listen live or on demand, anywhere, anytime. Go to coasttocoastam.com and download it today.
Let me drive again. Huh?
I'm Bree Kennett in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Police are looking for two thieves who made off with an ATM in what is being called a smash and fall. It happened at a convenience store at the Anthem Oil gas station at Orange. Surveillance video shows two men breaking a window, tying one end of the strap to a white pickup truck, the other end to the ATM inside. Police say the theft took mere minutes. You can't find a Trump flag at City Hall in Huntington Beach. This new ban overturns a council decision from about 2 years ago that required the city to fly the flag for Pride Month. That happens from the third week of May to the end of June. A body's been found on a San Bernardino County hiking trail. Police say the victim is a man. He was found near Etiwanda Falls Trailhead. They say there were no signs of foul play. Southline weather from KFI. Sunshine on the way. Highs in the mid to upper 70s. Right now it's 51 in Seal Beach. Fullerton at 52. 56 in Glendora and 54 in Inglewood. We lead local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Bree Kennett.
In Falcon Valley, there's a full three-way closure constructing 405 northbound from Brookers to Warner Avenue. All lanes are going to be shut down for road work until 5. Boyle Heights, this is on the 10 south after 16. Clean up crews from an earlier crash, taking up the left lane there. Watch for some stop-and-go traffic from Alameda. In Santa Clarita, there is a work zone 5 northbound from Magic Mountain Parkway to Hazlet Canyon. 2 left lanes are going to be shut down for road work until 5. KFI, the Sky Oaks Kitchen and Basket. I'm Brian King.
With the awards, big day fun, and Valentine's deals, I think that makes Morongo the strongest hotels. Now you top reasons to visit Morongo.
Get a Personic Space Steamer when you earn 500 points on your report card for 13th and 14th.
Number 2,
Big Game Blowout. You can win grand in cash playing with your report card during the game.
and the number 1 reason,
Big Game Flex. The big game with amazing food and drink specials.
Morongo, good times.
Live from Radio Row, it's Super Bowl week, and there's no better way to stay up to speed than with the Around the NFL podcast. Join me, Dan Hansis, and my buds, Mark Sessler and Greg Rosenthal, for the latest football news with just a touch of mirth.
We've got the number 1 football podcast in the world, and Rihanna is playing the Apple Music halftime show. It doesn't get much better than that. Hang out with us live from Glendale, Arizona, all week long. Listen to Around the NFL on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
AT&T's DirecTV just removed Newsmax from 13 million homes. AT&T owns DirecTV, and this is the second conservative channel they removed in a year. Meanwhile, DirecTV is still keeping what they call 22 liberal news channels on. So if you're angry about the censorship, Newsmax wants you to speak up. Newsmax is the 4th highest rated cable news channel. DirecTV isn't taking off the other liberal channels. Ron DeSantis says Newsmax was targeted, and it's wrong. Newsmax says AT&T and DirecTV censorship is unacceptable. If you care about censorship, seriously consider canceling your DirecTV and AT&T service. And if you're a DirecTV or an AT&T customer, call 877 Newsmax, and they'll connect you. You contact your congressman to complain about censorship. Call 877 Newsmax, and they'll connect you too. Millions are joining Newsmax. Show your support. Call 877 Newsmax. KFI. AM 640, more stimulating talk. I love those security questions that I'm asked, to determine that I need. What was the name of your first best friend? No friends. What was the name of your first dog? No dogs. What's your favorite band? I hate music. Bill Handle. I have a hard time filling those out. It's Italian. Live 6 to 9 a.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. You're listening to Coast to Coast AM, take your calls next hour with those contactees from the Zetas in just a moment, and when we come back in just a second, Cyan, another contactee, joins us. We'll talk with her about her situation. ParanormalDate.com. Need to sign up. 270 people to go, and we hit 153,000 signed up members. And what happens if you want to date somebody or meet somebody that's 60 plus, a bit more mature? And Valentine's Day is coming up, so check out ParanormalDate.com/seniors, and there you'll find people that think like you do and are 60 plus. So whatever you're looking for, ParanormalDate.com is for everybody. Or ParanormalDate.com/seniors. And of course, here's something for you to build up your immune system.
HealthyLooking.com and Dr. Alan Delay bring 4 decades of experience in natural products for the exclusive stem cell wellness kit that works with your body's stem cells.
Sick as
Dr. Delay with more.
Whether it's physical activity, obesity, diet, smoking, low and hormone,
West Side?
stress, sleep disorders, or your age can be supported by reducing inflammation and aiding the body to heal itself appropriately. A stem cell is a cell waiting to be told what it needs to do. If there is inflammation, that inflammation needs to be stopped. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, kidney disease, various types of cancer, depression, Alzheimer's disease, autoimmune disorders, osteoporosis, even fatty liver are chronic signs of inflammation, and can be aided by supporting the body's ability to protect those cells that it needs. And that is the purpose of InduStem and Adaptostem together, supporting the body to be healthy.
Dr. Malay, how will I feel after taking Adaptostem and InduStem?
The InduStem is going to have an immediate effect, but I tell you, your immune system is starting to function better after 24 hours. You put Adaptostem along with it, and most will feel it within 30 minutes.
Order now at HealthyLooking.com. The stem cell wellness kit from Dr. Malay protects your body's stem cells and will make you feel better faster. The stem cell wellness kit with Adaptostem and InduStem and your free gift for Relaxol is only available at HealthyLooking.com or toll free at 800-563-3980. That's 800-563-3980. Don't forget to enter promo code George for free. George's stem cell wellness kit at HealthyLooking.com. That's HealthyLooking.com.
It is so important to have an emergency radio on hand because you just don't know when the weather or some issue is going to affect you. Seacrane has been a leader in emergency radios for decades with the highly rated CC Solar Observer. And we all know prices have gone up just about
They should be like, oh, no.
Seacrane is dropping the
What do I get in my car?
It's a great deal. Seacrane CC Solar Observer is an AM and FM weather radio. It can be powered by a hand crank, solar panel, or common AA batteries, and it has a built-in flashlight as well, which is cool, and the ability to charge a smartphone in the pinch if you need it. A dependable emergency radio, superior reception, and audio is something everyone should have. And you get that with the CC Solar Observer, the perfect choice. I would recommend it. This week only, get the CC Solar Observer for only $49.99 by simply calling Seacrane at 1-800-522-8863. Remember this number,
Hey, dude.
write it down. 1-800-522-8863 or visit them at seacrane.com.
Did you know that you can save up to half on your wireless plan when you switch to Consumer Cellular? They offer unlimited contact text with a flexible data plan starting at just $20 a month with the same premium coverage as the nation's largest carrier. Plus, their award-winning customer support makes switching a breeze. Go to consumercellular.com/radio25 and for a limited time, get $25 off when you use promo code radio25.
Maxwell, you distraction.
No.
My vet, she said, oh, you must be allergic to chicken. Another vet said, eat the green. Third vet said, eat the lettuce. Then somebody said, he took the dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out. The dynamite is a big part of Maxwell's diet. Your dog will be
And welcome back to Coast. George Noy with you. We've been talking to Paul Henlon, and now we're talking to Cyan. They are both lifelong contactees of the Zeta race and have been clearing conscious recall of their contact with the beings that they work with. They are both deep trance mediums, also working with spirit guides to assist others. Paul, as we mentioned, his earliest was when he was 18 months old. Cyan's memory was from 4 years old, and here she is with us. Hello, Cyan. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And let me ask you, so you were 4 years old when this all started for you?
Well, that's the earliest memory I have. I mean, who knows what age, the contact actually started. But, that's my earliest memory. I was 4 years old.
And you met Paul when he was a little boy.
And a UFO, like they make it like sound like they was at Disneyland.
The first occasion, I had to get some memories, but what I do remember is that we were just observed by the beings, just naturally playing with toys together in the same space. I think it's always a bit crazy when you just come from these events and you wonder, as a small child, why on earth you didn't find that unusual. But, you're suddenly finding yourself in the middle of the night playing with somebody who couldn't be in your house, surrounded by extraterrestrials. But I think when most contactees, as they get older, they realise that the realisation of the gravity of what's taking place is kind of excluded from our minds until we're, mature enough to be able to process it. That was the first time when we were around 4 years old, and the second time when we were around 8 years old. That was quite a long story, but it involved a screen memory, and it was hidden from me, often only for about, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And they've managed to work screen memory in quite a normal event that had a completely false ending. It was almost like a screen memory that was designed to fail. And when I realised that the way this memory has ended was not the truth of the situation, I immediately realised it was a screen memory. It was just alarmingly obvious in the context I was working with and by that point. And the memory dropped, and I remember the entire experience of being on board with him. The interesting thing about those two experiences is that we're both more or less the same age on board craft, and then the reality is there's a bit of an age gap between Paul and I. They said they needed that twice, and that's all that we can remember.
Paul said he thinks he had about 100 contactees with them. Do you recollect how many times this has happened to you?
Oh, goodness. No. Dozens and dozens of times. I wouldn't suggest it's in the hundreds to me. Definitely less than hundreds. But I'm maybe missing a few years, and that of course for a few more years I'll need to collect those memories. But I'd suggest that my contact, although it has been fairly significant, it's not been of the same extreme level as I suggest he had in his lifetime.
Cyan, was there a point where you told your parents something very strange is happening to me?
I had conversations about paranormal events with addressed spirit contacts, and extraterrestrial contacts have been talked about, but not in any significant way at this point.
Why do you believe they're contacting people like Paul, like you?
I think, as Paul said, that there are many, many individuals being contacted, far more than we'll ever realise, and have been for a very long time. As to why that's taking place, well, the Vita's theory tell us that a large proportion of the human population are hyperhuman, which means from their perspective that the consciousness that forms human is part spirit, in spirit realm, and partly from an extraterrestrial race. And by a free will agreement, with the spiritual force is absolutely necessary for that to happen. The consciousness of this terrestrial combines with the consciousness of the spirit person, and that forms the consciousness of the hybrid human. As to whether or not somebody realizes that that's the case for them, well, that's for somebody to work out as they go along. But I know, having worked with many contactees and experiences over the years with Paul, that there are so many people out there staring at the sky at night, feeling that they don't belong on this planet. Thoughts that can't be evidenced in any way that they feel so strongly drawn towards. Who knows how many people out there are being contacted.
Is it conceivable that you are part of a hybrid program?
In consciousness, yes. When people talk about hybrid, I think there's a distinction to be made that doesn't always necessarily get made. People talk about biological hybrids, and then they talk about hybrids of consciousness. And the researchers talk about hybrids of consciousness existing on this planet. They don't ever refer to biological hybrids being on this planet.
Have you ever been aboard a Zeta craft, Sam?
Yes, I have. And I recall it without any need to be noticed.
What it looks like?
The memories that Paul and I both share of wonderful communication, the experience for us from my perspective, I lived within industrial space, how we joined Greece, I was within a room that was followed that I was in. There was one year where it was featuring unmedicated. I don't think it was glass.
You didn't play. This doesn't fucking go.
The two ends, opposite ends of this space on this diameter, if you like, there were exit entry points, and every now and again, future beings would walk through and up to that zone, and just walk off again, obviously checking up on something or other, never interacting with myself or the other humans in this that looks like glass room. These rooms or container areas, that's what it felt like at the time. They were all around the periphery of the circle space. And I was in there with Paul, and a very short 7-foot, easily 7-foot short speaker came up straight up to the glass, and he put his face right up to the window. And it was very alarming, and I was probably beyond terrified at that point. Well, Paul was very obviously clearly used to being there. He simply outstretched his hand up to the being on the other side of the glass and put his hand out to me to calm me down. That's one occasion I've seen that. I've been at this like some class before, looking at some sort of observation panel, like what you described the windows up without glass, just like you're looking into space, and behind me again it's a kind of a horseshoe shape maybe, and you can see controls around the side, and again it was just they're pretty much seem to be minding their own business, just doing whatever they need to do. Very active.
I am a
Has there ever been
major
a
advocate of such an
felt
role.
that
Really? Why
let's
is
say
fucking
the
shit
intention was dishonorable?
sometimes?
No, never.
Never felt that way.
No,
Yeah,
never
that's
felt
really
that way.
actually so for everybody else to know. Alright, are you done?
What do you think they think of us?
No, no, you just watch people just waste on the internet.
To them.
Yeah.
Of course, we have a home server.
Yo, dog.
Which is called in the medium world where say people come around every week to support the development of the medium. And she usually, when somebody new there, they always
dog, remember when it was like, hey, dog,
what is it like to be a
here you go.
and ask from your experience what it's like. They're always very interested to hear from people. I don't think we've had one sitting in our
Wow, everybody get excited for that. Orange delicious.
where they've not asked
Why?
the
Dude,
person.
no one ever.
I think they're
People are always trying to like get people excited about
interested in
the
how we think, why we think things that we do. I think they're trying to understand us as much as we're trying to understand them. I think in many ways they're probably trying to
Nobody's
figure out
sick of that.
context. So this is the way humans are trying to work out the best way to introduce themselves to the way to across the world, as a culture, as a society. They generally have a different way of saying hello, some people shake hands, some people bow, some people, interaction. And everyone who, they're very interested in learning about all the different nuances of human culture, which is exactly our
Yeah, you just start a light. Like, thank you for fucking help. No, see.
One of those occasions, there were several people that were in consciousness taken on board during that process, and I was on board with them. I could see what was going on. And when the people in that round, if you like, to normality, they jumped up together. I've been on class, and I was able to say, yes, I was there with you, and we basically had to describe exactly what we saw, what happened, it's been very interesting. The times of outside this kind of more public on my own, definitely seen other people on board class. Nothing terribly going on. It's more just an observation process. As far as I've experienced.
Tell us about your work with artists and what contributions the latest have made to that.
Yeah, that started about 10 years ago. I'm not, professionally trained artist, but it's something I've always just enjoyed doing when I have some spare time. Although of late that's increased. But years ago, I realised that...
How the fuck did we go from 1% to 33? If that were happening to me...
I found myself working in an artistic
Dude, it's so fucking numerous. Now I'm amazed. I'm like, oh, it's serendipitous.
And what I found was that when I was painting, I was finding myself in similar sorts of objects.
Would that be like, I didn't know I was
then first met Paul again, after non-Spanish.
Alright, are you done?
Able to look at the paintings and tell me exactly what I experienced with the paintings as I created them. He was able to point out all sorts of intricacies about them that I had absolutely no idea about and had no idea I'd even created. And then what we began to find is that people, when they use the works, one person pointed at an exhibition, I had a series of 5 paintings that I depicted there. And people would just stand in front of them and become absolutely mesmerised, to the point they were innocent enough to state themselves, and we began to realise that they were transferring the energy through me as I was painting or creating the images. And some of these images, they're highly constructed. I wake up, there's music in my mind, and like a song that just won't leave your music, and how you get some more music. The image would just be at the forefront of my mind, in my mind's eye, until I've drawn and painted it however it came out. And then other times these paintings, they just flow. They just
this is the best part. This is the best part. I know all the best parts, kids, of everything. Really, yeah.
We actually asked them about it, and yes, that's what they've been doing.
You're right now. You the bird, baby. Do the bird now. Hey, put on your high heel shoes. And then you're gonna take tomatoes. We're gonna take tomatoes. And it's not good.
That information is in the primary future rates if anybody wants to read about that. The scientists help that all together. That's actually not my area. I do the art. I have a need for science for somebody else.
As they continue to disable reticuli starches.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Now, when you say not that you're aware of, could they have done and you just don't know?
That's the best part.
Absolutely,
Right?
I suggest that
Oh,
yes,
for
there's
sure.
absolutely the potential for that, but I don't have any recall that has happened. I'd suggest I remember, I don't know, maybe 10% of the contact. We know that there's so much more contact that we don't remember. For whatever reason, they don't let us remember this, but they allow us to remember this particular contact. Who knows why they do that? But yeah, no, I don't have any contributory in that.
We're going to come back in just a moment with Paul and Cyan and take initial phone calls. So Paul first. Their website is called disableconnection.com, and that is linked up at coasttocoastam.com. Calls next on Coast to Coast.
89%.
Find out more
How you
about tonight's
living?
guest. Log on to
Oh.
coasttocoastam.com.
Let's see this shit.
How much do you think your home's worth this year? Do you think it's going to be worth the same next year? If you're thinking about borrowing on your home equity, your odds of getting more out of your home is probably higher now than it will be next year. I certainly believe that. Some experts predict that property values might decline over the next few years, making it more challenging for borrowers to tap into that home equity. If you need $75,000 or more, HMS Capital can help you borrow the money you need with the equity you built. So whether you want to consolidate debt, make home improvements, or whatever your situation may be, HMS Capital may have the best solution to help you. No appraisal, credit report fees to apply. I've done 2 mortgages with HMS Capital. Clearly, I'm a fan. I believe they are simply the best at what they do. Call 833-255-5698, 833-255-5698. Visit hmscapital.com. This President's Day government takes the ultimate shoot sale. Go to the Chief Larry, number one sale to the chief. It's over 50% off the best brand. Plus, with your good credit, buy today and take interest free for 36 months. On purchase of about $3,000 with your minimum monthly payment 10% down. I'm going straight to hell because you're killing me, Larry. Didn't think of being anyone's advertising price for your mattress is free.
From 1909 to 1979, Statewide Hospital was held under the 1,000 of sterilization procedures as part of eugenic law. After 1979, this practice continued in the state prison. If you were left unable to have biological children after surgery while living in a state-run facility or while in custody of a California prison, you may be entitled to compensation. For a confidential application, call 1-800-777-9229. Deadline to apply is December 31st, 2023.
AM 640. AM 640.
We're watching everything, so you can watch your sanity.
Los Angeles on County, live on the
Higher electric bills on the way. I'm Bree Tennyson, the KFI 24-hour news room. SoCal Edison says they are raising their rates by 4.4%. The company says higher natural gas prices are impacting their ability to deliver power. Twitter's reporting outages and error messages. This is for Twitter's new subscribers. They say it's due to upping the character count from 280 to 4,000. They hope to have things worked out better today. Long Beach Fire Department has a brand new fire chief, Dennis Buchanan. He's a 29-year veteran of the Long Beach Fire Department. He's also their first Black Latino chief. Houston says they're cutting 10,000 jobs and slashing $5.5 billion in costs as they plan restructuring. He'll break down as to who's getting toothless. A restaurant in Tucson is now using robots to serve food. They still have humans, but Icepan Barbecue Korean Grill now has 20 robot servers that can speak 50 different languages. The owner of the restaurant says he's not replacing his workers, but know that the robots are never late and they never get tired. Vice President Kamala Harris says he will
You get big this weekend? I have to.
Mark Mayfield, so he said.
She told CBS Morning President Biden intends to
I have one person who
will be right alongside if it's done. She also said the work they're doing is historic. The administration aims at that word that made it go fast in the last 2 years and so control of government. However, they're now forced to work with a Republican White House. I'm Mark Mayfield.
The death toll from the earthquake in Turkey and Syria has surpassed 15,000. The World Health Organization is now sending in healthcare resources to prevent people from dying in the aftermath of the quake. And Wallet Hub says men will spend twice as much as women for Valentine's Day. Southline weather from KFI. Mostly sunny skies on the way. Highs in the mid to upper 70s. Right now it's 50 in CSU. Santa Ana has 51. 56 for Malibu and 48 in Redlands. Wind local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Bree Tennyson.
In south. There is a full 3-lane closure, 405 north south of Brookhurst to Warner Avenue. All lanes are going to be shut down for boat work until 5. In Boyle Heights, we have 15. Earlier pressure on the building found after 60 active clear from lanes. You drive is up to full speed in that area. And in Stillmar, there is a workshop on the
I like that one where it's like,
2 left lanes are going to be shut down for boat work until 6. Expect flowing throughout that area. KFI and the Sky Hope get you there faster. I'm Brian Van.
If you're looking to get out of your house, doesn't matter why you're moving, or maybe even inherited a family, now what you do? Usually you go to a real estate agent, 6%, and you're told to clean and keep and repair, and buyers are going to walk through. The house has to be pristine, as if you don't live there. You don't need it like that. How about getting a fair price for your home without any of that hassle? DirectBuyers.com will do exactly that. DirectBuyers.com, a local family-owned business, Janet and Matt, brother and sister. I love the way they do business. Now, there are a lot of schmucks out there in this business. I'm going to suggest you call DirectBuyers.com. They'll never lowball you.
Oh, here you go,
They'll give you an honest, no-obligation offer, even a $16,000 cash advance before closing. Go to DirectBuyers.com, call 844-242-SELL, 844-242-SELL, DirectBuyers.com.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, I heard media can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to potential customers more cost effectively. Plus, radio, video, podcasting, and social. We recommend you have IR media to work with you and great results. 250 great results.
If your business has 5 or more employees and manages to provide programs, you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. That's real money. It's not a loan either, it's a refund of your taxes. The trick is getting it complicated, lots of red tape. So let me suggest going to DirectBuyers.com. Their team of tax attorneys are experts in the civil loan payroll tax refund program, and they've already returned $1 million to business. They can probably help you too. No charge up front, I'll share a percentage of the cash that they get for you. And businesses of all types can qualify, including those with PPP money and nonprofits. Even if you've had increases in sales, you can qualify. To find out if your business does qualify, go to getrefunds.com, click on the qualify me button, and answer a few questions, stay touch with us.
And he was gone with the jet.
GetRefunds.com.
The hit true crime podcast, Paper Ghost, is back with a brand new case. Season
That's I
3
like how
continues
it's
the
set up.
1992 cold case murder of Joe DeWitt, a New Jersey
What's it
college
called?
student, and uncovers a murky police
Oh, no.
investigation of two of new suspects, and the community still desperate for answers 30 years later.
Tammy's supposed to be on campus, and she's not here, and people are starting to get worried.
Listen to Paper Ghost on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
Really? Oh, for
Looking
sure.
in the prison committed crimes.
Why?
And that's all
Why
that
not?
matters. The color of their essentially doesn't matter. They committed the crimes. And gangs are in the business of crime. They don't do anything else but commit crimes.
Somebody else?
Live 1 to 4 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Things jumping never run Chicago way. He had a boogie style, but no one else could play. He was the top man and his back. But then the thunder came up, and he was coming to track. He gave me army now, and him and enemy. And in the boogie, people boy, company B. And he said the puzzle in your fan. Yeah, they got a battle, give it in your jam. And then they can't understand. They get a big plan, they got it as a plan. You know I'm now, every family. She's a boogie, beautiful boy, company B. To the other, give it a bar. And boogie is on the table, no, there's the best can die. In the day. He's a boogie, cute boy, company B. Yes, I'm a boogie, boy, company B. You can believe the way you take it easily. Yeah, I do right. You feel so into the bar. The baby comes with the he's
Reach George via Skype. Skype name George 97213. Send George a text message anytime at 818-298-6521. This is Coast to Coast Radio with George Norrie. $1 million best-selling in January. There doesn't seem to be many plans to curb spending. It's times like these that you want to diversify. It's times like these that you want to have physical gold and silver in hand whenever you need it. You can buy it at bullionmax.com/post in any denomination you want. That's right. Bullion Max will ship the gold and silver fully insured directly to your door. Think about it. Gold and silver, the world's oldest, most proven form of currency, and it's there for you when inflation soars. Or when other assets go sideways, when the lights go on. To get started, go to bullionmax.com/post. Purchase your silver starter kit. Get 6 ounces of solid silver, including a limited access calendar coin, something Bullion Max and I set up just for you. Again, go to bullionmax.com/post now to purchase your silver starter kit and take the first step to building an emergency reserve of gold and silver. bullionmax.com/post.
Tired of overpaying for your cell phone bill? Switch to Consumer Cellular and save up to half on your wireless plan. They are award-winning 100% US-based customer support team makes switching easy. Plus, you can keep your phone and number with no contract or activation fees. They offer unlimited talk and text with a flexible data plan starting at just $20 a month. You can easily add your family and friends to your plan for just $15 a month per line. Never worry about drop calls. Consumer Cellular has the exact same coverage as the major carriers to over 99% of the nation. This is all backed by their 100% risk-free guarantee. So even millions of others who have switched. Go to consumercellular.com/radio25 and for a limited time, get $25 off when you use promo code radio25. That's consumercellular.com/radio25. Promo code radio25.
Yeah, welcome back to Coast. George Miller with you, Paul Hinton with us, and Cyan with us. We're going to start with calls with Paul, so when you address Tom, make sure there are 4 calls. We talk about his Zeta connection. Paul, does Zetas ever say how many civilizations are out there in the universe?
They did say that they thought that their number in just Brad, but they said that within this Milky Way galaxy, which is 100,000 light years across, there was about 1,000 civilizations.
That's a lot.
So there is.
I had asked Cyan, she did not have an answer, but did they ever tell you their propulsion system for their craft? How they exit? Their space and time? How do they move?
Yeah, so basically, we use what's called space-time compression to move from one space to the next. So quite often humans will look up and see a craft, and then next thing you know, the craft, gets across the sky and moves for thousands of kilometres, within a half a second. That's because they're compressing and uncompressing time as we know it. And so for us, maybe 10 seconds has gone past, then only 1 second.
Do the fandango, really writing, really writing me. Nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. Where in his life living monstrosity. Oh, you let me go. Miss me, la. Yeah, no, not let you go. You go, miss me, la. You let me go. Let me go. Miss me, la. Let me go. No, not let you go. Oh.
And there I just experienced 2 other people.
Beelzebub has the devil put his heart on me. On me.
How much does our government or do governments know about what's going on?
Oh, I don't have that information. I'm sure that there's plenty of people out there.
Have they ever approached you?
Do you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby.
That's the full knowledge.
Why actually just giving away a lot of information. If anybody wants to read it, they can. And if anybody wants to contact us, they can as well. So we're not worried about the information in any way. There's a lot of books that are out there. Maybe, I don't know, I don't even know how many books, maybe 10 books that we've written so far. And that information is out there, and those people are freely available. So there's a lot of information in those books.
Let's start with some calls for you east of the Rockies. Brian is with us in Indianapolis. Hi, Brian.
Hey, George, how's that doing today?
Hi, birthday boy. How are you?
I'm alright, man. Hey, listen, I kind of just kind of asked this. The call I heard you mention earlier that you think that people can make contact with them. So my wife and I, we're stargazers, as most family knows. So how would I go about, or how would you go about, I'm not really sure if I want to do this topic, I'm sure Chris would be all in for it. How would I go about contacting them, and what would I expect if they contact me? And I might have a follow-up question, George.
Okay,
So, that everyone would need to do is you need to learn about your own energy first in meditation, learning about how do I feel right now, because when you're going to step forward to make contact, you must understand what the energies are that are coming to you. You can have spirit people coming to you, or you can have actual energies or actual entities. So you want to make sure that you understand fully your own energy, so that when you step into the process of creating contact, changes all the time. Here's the work mediums, the evidence still quite clearly extraterrestrials can do the same.
Any follow-up, Brian? Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick. So we don't meditate. We always say we want to. We feel like we're tuned with the universe. So it's a little bit more complicated than just saying, hey, we see you up in the sky, from the soft pizza, did you? And I'll put the picture off here for have you on today.
All right. Go ahead. Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than that because what you call it useless is you've just got something going on around you and you invite it to you, but you don't know what's going on. And it seems to be using pre-endemic technology or energy distortions or back recreation or phenomena in ways that they're trying to contact you psychologically. Then there's expectations from how to understand your own energy. It's not about getting instant contact, it's about building contact slowly so that it's evidential.
Go to Jim, British Columbia in Canada. Paul, go ahead. Hi, Jim.
George. Hi, George. Paul, thank you very much for taking my call, you guys. Got kind of an off-the-wall question here. I don't know if I had contact with the Vedas or not. I had a contact with an off-worlder guy a couple of times, two different people. And they left a triangle on my finger right in front of my eyes. That was in 2020. But I had some hammer on the window. I had a picture that I took. And this is very, very odd. I had tagged the picture. This was right when we had all the heat here in D.C. It was 49 Celsius. I didn't know what the subject was up in the sky, but I tagged the picture. I took a bunch of pictures in the same area. And I tagged the picture and wrote UAV next left. Not because it was, I didn't know what it was, so I just put it there for my own interest. And when I went to save the picture, I could still read better save on the picture. When I went to save the picture, I hit save, and what was exactly like I don't know, I guess they're gray alien hands waving at me through the window of my car.
Just that one girl who, what is it? She's very pretty. That one girl who lives.
Somebody could have played a trick. They had to go to the future and done it from the future when I was going to.
There's a blonde who does it, but there's a brunette who's really super interesting.
Hammering on my window, if you can believe that. I'm on the 6th floor of the apartment, outside the window, bam, 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 bam. But it wasn't in our reality. It sounded like there was about 2 or 3 feet out from the window and loud hammering. And my building is completely silent with seniors here. There's no
but
noise
like they get in an accident, they're gonna get killed.
I was kind of like soaking it in. I sort of
coffins on
at
full
one point
wheels.
when they did this was last
Full-wheel
July,
coffins,
I
because that's
clapped my
funny
hands
what
really
is that?
loud 3 or 4
Them
times,
fuckers'
kind of
cars
said,
are like
I could hear
full-wheel
the guys
coffins.
outside the window, and then I heard
And
this,
get close to girl.
head away from the
Super,
window.
super
They
cute.
think they were flying away from the window out into the night. You could hear them bam, 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 and it disappeared.
Rolling
As
in
it went, it was really odd. And I thought, well, I don't know. It wasn't disturbing or anything. I thought, well, I don't know if that was it or not, but the picture that I get with those hands through the window, I guarantee you, if you saw it, you'd say, wow. I don't know what that is, but it sure looks like UFO hands through my open window in my car.
Were we being visited at all by other races, UFO races?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'll just if I wanted, I could send you that picture and I'll have a look at it.
Through your website?
Yeah, send it to hotmail.com.
Okay, the website is ViralRabbi.com in case you don't get it. Lots of strange things out there, that's for sure. Did you have many pictures or did you have artists sketch what you've seen, Paul?
With called craft in, and it's a picture of it. It's triangular shaped craft. It's about 50 meters above the house. It was taken at night. The craft he just realised that
Oh, I get it. And I mean, so I think you're wrong.
quite good. He still got the
Why?
outline to shape.
Because I thought it was supposed to be like I want sex. I saw this and I was like, oh, this bitch wants a fucking dick. And a pussy like I thought iced coffee with a pussy and Gatorade in the bottom of dick, but she's just your head's in the gutter, kid. Hey, just wear some ribbons and
So there's sort of certain types of evidence that's only for us because we like to have that information as well.
Carlos is with us in Miami. Welcome to the show. Hi, Carlos.
Good morning, George. Good morning, Paul. I have a question. If you recall, in the morning bill, they also, Eddie recalls that, she was walking around the track and she looked at this recessed area. There were floating spheres, silver spheres, and she asked the beings what were those, and they told her that was what the part of the universe that they came from. And she said she didn't know where that was because she didn't study astronomy, but there were people on Earth that did study this particularly astronomy. And so they told her, if you don't know
what the fuck that thing's doing?
What
I know this thing's doing its thing.
Eventually they found out that it was
Trying to paint an ass. That thing's amazing. Westbrook was traded. Lakers are finally to D'Angelo Russell, Mike Beasley, and Jared Van Pop. Really? Jared Vanderbilt.
Betty and Marty Hill, or if that ever came up, or you even asked that question. Here you go. The first question. They told us that she fell. And generally, when they first come to us, they were speaking on where I to record them speaking. But we didn't know what was being said. That was a problem. I need to go to Eddie and Barney. With Kathleen Martin spoken to the TRUMAN, they indicated that they knew of Kathleen and her generational line. So they never mentioned Betsy or Barney personally, but there's a lot of other information, of course. Very difficult to give all the information out right now, but we're very limited time. There's a lot of things going on. It's sort of fun at the moment.
Next up, let's go to Shani in California. Welcome to the show. Hi, Shani.
Hi, guys. Well, I'm asking a question that I actually asked a month ago to another professional, but she didn't know anything about it. But it relates to the data, so maybe you can help me.
Okay.
So I heard on that show, Magic Exposure, there's this guy, Tim, who's like he's actually the YouTube engineer. He has this thing called that, this crazy theory that some of the light that we see when we die, is actually an installation that's been planted by the data to sort of keep our souls trapped, to keep returning back to Earth and reincarnating on Earth rather than, jumping around the universe after we leave our bodies and stuff. And I mean, that's people that do start out here, but do you know what you heard about?
Yeah, so basically when a person moves the physical body and they move towards Durham, there's a lot of different belief systems that people have and they carry them with them. The data says that they do not in any way capture humans. They do not in any way work with human souls. They don't want human souls. They don't use human souls. And the problem is that a lot of people are using that type of information to instill fear into the human race. Because of course,
when's the last time we lost two straight up
all know that these human
games
travel somewhere. Because he told that there's capacity for a person also creates a lot of fear. It's not true.
There he goes. I love
We've
the
got
color
Michael now in Santa Fe,
conversation.
New Mexico. Hello, Michael. Go ahead.
Oh, George, thank you very much for taking my call today. I really appreciate it. I'd like to ask if there were any other places in Australia, because I've been all over Australia, that this type of thing has experienced it with other people that you know, be it in New South Wales or the central of the country or the western part of the country.
Do you have a sponsor in Australia where these connections occur?
There's a lot of places globally where there is a lot of contact, and I would suggest that, of course, the areas with the least amount of EMS, the least amount of interference, is where the class comes. It is based around who is there at the time. We've been with other people in other groups, and the class is quite large. It just depends on where you are and how much severe the market is and how much capacity there is for the class to easily materialize in the three-dimensional space.
Have you ever been scared before by them?
I was scared. Remember I said that I had dreams of taking me down when I was younger? Yeah, I was terrified. The difference was that they were basically trying to get me onto a craft. When I was much older, they would come in and say, "Do you want to come onto the craft?" I roll back over and go to sleep. And then they keep
This thing?
come out. I was got to the point where I wasn't worried anymore. I would suggest that in the beginning, when I didn't know what I knew now, yes, I was very concerned about it. This is why we spend a lot of time talking with people, because I think people have read a lot of information on the internet that's untrue, and a lot of people have a lot of negative connotations about extraterrestrial contact.
But you think they're safe? They don't have any agenda?
So far, let's imagine that there are 1,000 beings, 1,000 civilizations. We only work with one, and they so far have given evidence. They have definitely, been upfront to the information they've given. They've come with what they said that they would. And so, you really get to the point where you need to take somebody at their word and build relationships on that. I speak to them if they ever do anything that I find to be negative or unfriendly towards humans, that I'll terminate contact with them.
Would you be mad if
Paul, we're going to come back
were
in
with
just
a
a
girl
moment.
and she's
Paul,
got
to
from
wrap
wrong?
things up with you, Paul's been with us, of course. Cyan is the other person who has been in contact with the Satan's back in
I know,
coast to coast.
what if she had
The free Coast Zone email newsletter is sent out 6 days a week and is a great way to keep up on all things coast. With detailed program
and a whole box, girl?
fascinating
She's
today
got just 2
strange
boxes.
listing,
Those fucking
upcoming
shoes
guest info,
of Kevin
and weekly
in the
free audio
office.
clips. It's a must-have for Coast fans. Look for the free sign-up on the coastcoastam.com
Yaji. Remember when it was like, oh, dog, 462, 462.
I'm Bree Tennyson at KFI. 24-hour newsroom. Police have recovered about $200,000 worth of stolen solar panels and discovered 2 warehouses, one in North Hollywood, the other in Chatsworth, filled with stolen goods. They're still looking for the suspect. A 24-year-old woman has died from a fentanyl overdose while at a rehab clinic in Riverside County. The family is now suing. The clinic has since closed. Subway says they will no longer make sandwiches with pre-sliced meat as part of their ongoing transformation. That will take
There's a new bill in the Senate that will allow
No more precise meat? What do you mean? No more meat at all?
Assembly Bill
No
471
more
passes.
pre-sliced.
And today is National
What does that mean?
Pizza
Do they
Day,
slice it there?
pizza for breakfast. Southline weather from KFI. Sunshine on the way.
Subway,
Police in Midwest was 70.
pizza?
Right now it's 52 in Lake Forest.
Huh?
Sahaba has
Oh,
53.
called
58 in
Subway.
Uganda
So much
Beach,
Subway.
and 54 in
What is
San
it?
Fernando.
Subway. It's called Subway.
From the
Precise
KFI
meat. What the
24-hour
fuck is this?
newsroom, I'm Bree Tennant.
Are they going all carb? They're gonna go kosher. We're gonna make Subway kosher. It's crazy how precise thing. Oh, they're gonna slice their own meat. That's tight.
Hill Bar, there is a work zone 2 eastbound from the 118 to Weekland Avenue.
Kosher
2
meat?
red lanes given. Step down to road work until 6. Expect delays. KFI, don't get you there fast, girl, Brian, man.
Okay, guys, Valentine's Day is coming up.
Wow, Subway CEO thinks in-store slicing made the future. Some businesses this week. Holy shit. Have you ever been to a busy Subway? That is gonna blow up in their fucking faces, unlike anything I've ever seen. Have you ever been to a fucking busy Subway? Holy fuck, it is the busiest fucking thing. Oh my god. I mean, they're gonna just be sitting there doing this all fucking day. Unless it's like already pre-doing it. But then it's like, I don't know, they have some kind of fucking machine that automatically does it.
We've got the #1
Hey, Murray.
football podcast in the world, and
They have the #1 football podcast in the world. Wow, dude, that's something to write home about. To write home. Hey, remember when? Hey, dude, remember when your thing was working? What's his name? Hey, Elon Musk, you fucking cunt. When did your shit work? Next time.
Commercial real estate with over 1.5 billion in assets. First National Realty Partners offers investors access to institutional quality real estate, featuring national brand tenants such as Walmart, Kroger, Whole Foods, and many others. FNRP is one of the largest syndicators of grocery-anchored private equity real estate in the U.S. Build your portfolio today with our investor relations team. Call 888-301-9010. That's 888-301-9010. Or get started at fnrpradio.com. That's fnrpradio.com. Call or visit us to see what annual returns and quarterly cash distribution our investors are earning. 888-301-9010 or fnrpradio.com. Results are not guaranteed unless you're listed your principal. Securities are only available to verified accredited investors. Any representations as to stability, diversification, security, or resistance to inflation reflect not belief in such outcomes. May or may not be realized. Distributions are not guaranteed. As for future results, AM 640 for stimulating talk. KFI Live. Radio. KFI AM 640 for stimulating talk. KFI AM 640 at coast-to-coast-am.com.
Thanks for the memories, kid.
Of sentimental verse, nothing in my purse. I've chuckles when the preacher said, for better or for worse. How sweet it was, twice for the memory of Schubert serenade, little things of Jane, and traffic jams and anagrams and bills we never paid. How
Hey.
it was.
Yeah, people like it.
We could laugh over big things. We're parted by only a slight thing. I wonder we did the right thing. Oh, well, that's life I guess. I love you, Ben. Dear, it's pretty.
Fuck you, bitch.
From somewhere out there, this is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
Pissing
We'll be
in
back
the
to wrap
swing.
things up with Cheyenne in just a moment here on Coast to Coast as
I'm
we talk
pissing in
about
the swing.
Mercedes and
Why
their
not?
involvement with them, to be sure.
Huh?
Beyond Belief, that's
Why
our television program. Take advantage and sign up to watch the episode. And if you head over to beyondbelief.com right now, we've got 3 free ad-free episodes plus a few other surprises.
I've never used it.
Check it out. There's a 7-day free trial there.
That's one time used it.
It's beyondbelief.com.
And I was like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't.
There are only a few laps of Edmund Care to the banquet style.
Wish I either have to get big this weekend or I'm back. I'm feeling up. Like I'm pretty confident.
What can I say about him? Such a
Oh,
nice
God.
guy and sold over 45 million records. He has 38 top 40 hits, appeared in more than 12 Hollywood films. He is going to tell us so many stories about his career. This is going to be a lot of fun. So head over to coasttocoastam.com right now. Lex has got all the info on how you can get the last few tickets right there. He's got so much history now. I was watching the YouTube clip when he was on Ed Sullivan show. Whoa, that's a long time. That was doing forever. He was on Bandstand with Dick Clark and all this great stuff. Did you catch this kind of heavy metal period there? Yeah, I did. It freaked everybody out. There's nobody knew what he was doing. Well, we'll talk about that with him too. Yeah. It'll be like, here's something for you to de-stress.
If stress gets you down, and maybe you're fatigued or moody, and would like to start the day with more energy, then you would like to relax in the evening throughout the night while losing weight, we have something for you. Elevate and accelerate. Dr. Adam Bruder explains more. So what is it about Elevate that really makes it so powerful? Number one, it's 1.5 serving of bionutrients. Again, that's taking whole foods and putting it into a capsule to help our body combat chronic stresses that are coming at us every single day. You know, folks, they can actually help to establish healing neurologically. You know, our cells that fire together are going to be wired together. You've heard of people saying that they're firing on all cylinders. That is what this does. I'll tell you, when I started taking this, within the first day, I noticed better mental clarity, better energy. The next thing that we look at is the accelerator. We're looking at salt sweet wine.
Are you done? Hey dog. Hey dog. Hey dog. Hey dog.
There's a
Hey
prebiotic.
dog.
There's the
Hey
enzyme
dog.
blend that's
Hey
restoring
dog.
that gut health. So it's content that's restoring, so it's that serotonin and dopamine to be able to reduce anxiety, to also reduce chronic fatigue, to help to increase the immune system of our body as well. I have found that just with these 3 capsules, with people that I have seen are having phenomenal success.
Georgia's Power Pack. Order now and receive free gift. Be Slim, refreshing weight loss tablets. Accelerate, elevate, and Be Slim. Order now at healthylooking.com or 800-394-9930. Don't forget promo code George for free shipping. Georgia's Power Pack. Now with free gift, Be Slim, and free shipping. That's 800-394-9930 or at healthylooking.com. We talk a lot about whether we're alone in the universe, and Marvelous Entertainment has that same question, releasing the newest in science fiction that specifically deals with this question. Marvin Sunderland is the certified film director and the genius behind a number of novels dealing with this question. Yeah, this is a really great series. It's set in novels, and it takes you on an adventure for a crashed alien spaceship. So all I can say is brace yourself. This is going to be fun. Check it out. Journey with Sergeant Blackett. He's the star of the book novel In Search for a Crashed Alien Spaceship that leads into an alien invasion.
My friend, his name was
war underway in the other. Get 20% off the entire 7-novel series and all future graphic novels when you enter
Here's my Joe.
lowercase if you would at marvelous.com. That's marvelous.com. MARVALOUS.com.
Has anybody seen that thing?
Imagine you're in a room with 4 of the
Yo,
people. Statistically, one of you is a victim of identity theft. That's right, 1 in 5. And these aren't careless people either. They're probably a lot like you, walking your accounts and credit. But that isn't always enough, especially with your personal info in more places than ever. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself by monitoring your identity and alerting you to threats you couldn't miss on your own. If you become a victim of identity theft, a U.S.-based LifeLock restoration specialist will be dedicated to your case and work to fix it. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock or go to lifelock.com and use promo code George. That's promo code George to save up to 25% off your first year or 1-800-LifeLock. And welcome back to Coast. George Kelly back with Cheyenne is with us now. So let's go to first time caller Gary. Gary, welcome to the program.
George, I'm first time caller, but I listen to your program quite often.
Thank you, sir.
I have a question for Diane. In a conversation with the aliens, did you ever ask them if they believe in God?
That's a great question. Cheyenne, has that question of do they believe in another creator ever come up?
It comes up quite frequently in especially the public settings. Everyone's always very interested to know their take on that. And yes, they believe in a source consciousness that is responsible for the creation of everything. They don't use the concept of God as humans do because they're not human, but they definitely have their own belief structure centered around the source consciousness that is the creator of all.
That's fantastic. Cheyenne, I want to thank you and Paul for being part of the program. Good luck with your continued travels with the Vedas, and get one of them maybe one day and get them on the show. And as we talk about UFOs and extraterrestrial life, we always have to remember the late Braxton. Tell me about the story of Epsilon Beta. You know, this is an incredible story that a lot of people might not be aware of. But what very well could be an alien object that is circling on the planet.
You know, I'm so intrigued by that, and I looked at on it when it first came out. I could not imagine why people weren't going wild about this. But here is a broadcast, so to speak, and sometimes we theorize that maybe there's like I don't know what kind of device it would be, but sometimes a tape recorder that broadcasting messages that clear and serious-minded astronomers that, you know, this is coming from a source, it's coming from something that, you know, is circling, it is in an orbit, and it is broadcasting a meaningful messages. And then it just disappeared from the source, and I tried to track it down and get more information, and then I don't like to project stuff like this, and sometimes we get a little weary of saying, oh, it must be a cover-up. But I did not understand that this could really be anything other than some kind of cover-up for this information, and there must have been more that would be released, and that we reported in the book. That alien contact, it seems as though someone was telling us, you know, we're here and we're available for communication, and then there was nothing else.
This object apparently was tossed around our moon about, 13,000 years ago?
Yeah, that is what the communication claimed, that it had been caught there, like it was kind of an overseer, like it was a mission to say when we were ready enough to receive it.
Then it would still be there, right?
Yeah, that's what I understand, but I'm not able to get any more information about it. There was a lot at first, and I tried to track it down at the time.
Both cameras
and then it just dried up. I couldn't get anyone else to answer, but, you know, I'm stubborn, and so
Looks like
I agree with it. We got to put this in the book. We're not supposed to be excited about it. You know, some additional statement from someone who should know will be forced to make these statements and explain what happened.
Well, if it's still broadcasting something, you should have said it somewhere.
Yes, indeed. And I can't believe that it isn't wanted there. but I can't get any more information. Maybe someone with higher ranking than Sherry or myself, and I'm hoping that people will see that someone with that kind of influence and demand that we say, what has happened to excellent movies?
It must have concluded that there are a lot of UFO reports out there, and the good ones, something's happening on this book.
Oh, okay.
You have to conclude it.
Okay, first of all, no disagreement from you. It's a great mystery.
It is.
Some people feel they have the answer. And they're very aloof about that. And they're very superstitious. We have the answer. As long as we have been in this research field, we realize that it's a multi-level phenomenon. It's a multi-level, multi-dimensional phenomenon. We know something is going on. We don't know if it's extraterrestrial, if it's multi-dimensional. We don't know. So, in this respect, there might be bases under the sea. There might be bases under Earth to account for some of these ancient legends. But the phenomenon has been with us forever. And we feel that it can influence every aspect of our existence in ways that we haven't even begun to dream of yet. We feel that strongly about it, that whatever the phenomenon is, and we're not saying they come from Alpha Centauri, we're not saying they come from the hollow earth, we're simply saying consider all of it as a great mystery, a multi-layered mystery, that something is going on.
Brad, why do you think it's such a young age? You and me and so many other people who seem fascinated with stories of UFOs and extraterrestrial
That's
life.
right.
What happened to us?
Well, I think as the eminent philosopher Lady Gaga says, we were just born that way.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
I have to bring up one thing. I got excited about Upsilon Buddhist, which is a favorite of mine. Some people like to play the name game with research. And I think we cannot overlook that the British astronomer who made the discovery of this robot was named Duncan Lunan.
How about that?
So again, moon, it's beside the moon. So those little things.
I know.
Suffice the research.
You know, we continue to get
What's sort of going?
stories all over the place. There are some people who truly believe government's going to disclose. I don't think so, not totally. What do you think?
I don't either. I've said that. I think as long as I've been researching with it in writing, I should say, which goes back to the 50s and the first book, 66, about UFOs, I said then, it's not going to. And people say, well, they can't keep a secret. Oh, yeah, they can. I mean, but we have been talking about this not long ago with Kevin Randall, whom I know his fine research, and continually finding people making death. I hate to use the word confession, testimony.
Sure.
That
I
testimony.
just want to get it off the chest.
Yeah. And you know, I can't see why someone has kept a secret all of their lives, and then on their deathbed they want to leave that as part of their legacy. So it seems we're building up to a time of disclosure, but I really am not optimistic about this coming anytime soon. I know our friends in the exo-political side of it, they're very enthusiastic, and we hear from them regularly and respect all of their research and what they're trying to do. And you know what, they're optimists, and I try to be a cockeyed optimist as much as possible. So I'm hopeful that we will have some sort of great revelation, but I'm just not terribly optimistic that it'll happen in our lifetime anyway.
Yeah, unless it's a mistake.
A mistake.
Something like that happens.
Good one, George.
Let's go to the phones. David in Pleasant Hills, California, west of the Rockies. David, go ahead. You're on with Brad Stein.
Hey, George. Hey, Brad. How you doing? Very well. Okay, George. Good. What's your name?
David.
I'm David. David. Okay, David. Yeah, I'm George. So I had a couple people that I've been kind of researching lately, a few YouTube videos. It's all over the internet with stuff like what John Leary talks about. One of the big ones is Stephen Greer and the congressional, I think it was the congressional hearing that he was trying to get going for the days. Things like that. One thing I want to say though is I don't think we'll ever be disclosed because, as far as I know, the Bilderberg group is being controlled by the Greys. And as far as that's going on, as far as all that sympathy and these destructive agendas are going on, they'll have to change and come out and open.
Let's hypothesize about this, Brad. This group, the Illuminati, the Bilderbergs, these people, you think they're being controlled by ETs? I would say not. I think they just don't want us to know because they're afraid they will lose control of us.
Yes. No, I don't. Well, stay open, as I certainly have to do, and you certainly have to do. Stay open to all of it. And, I'm open to that type of comment. And I think the Bilderbergers, Illuminati, there's a lot to write about conspiracies. We're just being overwhelmed trying to keep up with that. But again, the caller agrees that there's probably not going to be disclosure as far as groups being controlled by ETs or aliens or multidimensionals, whatever. Then I think the whole field has and can have a certain paranoid aspect to it. And I think we have to be aware of that. I've seen so many friends since I began really kind of lose it, who were serious researchers, got into it too deeply, felt that they really have insight into the truth. And that's sad to say, many of them suffered mental issues and happens. I won't go on, but it's a field, and I told Sherry before we really got into this strong again, it's like entering a magic theater in one sense. And I said, things are going to happen, because when I was really into it, the 60s and the 70s, things that expected normal, sensible descriptions happened. And when we really got into it, those strange, unexplainable, mysterious things happened. And you get information from many sources, and then things are, you just have to watch a very cautious line. There's something about entering this field that you have to stay balanced. You really have to know yourself. And that's why we maintain that. A time of meditation, a time of prayer, a time of reading from the Holy Scriptures of all faiths. I think you have to have that kind of balance. And it's the field we are convinced, and I'll say it again, it's the great mystery that affects all of us in so many ways.
What fascinates me too, Brad, the stories of submersible UFOs.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
They pop out of the ocean, they're witnessed by sailors and people on boats and ships. Truly incredible stuff.
Marvelous stuff. And get those stories we receive us all the time, from shrimp fishermen and other fishermen and military men, Navy men, and so forth, who write us with their reports.
Can you imagine being on a boat if you see a UFO smash itself out of the water and just take off?
Well, we stood on the shore of a lake in Peru and saw that happen at least a dozen times in one night. No explanation, what we were really seeing, but we all knew what it looked like we were seeing.
Anything going back in or just going out?
No, they go out too. They look at there, come in, dive, then go out. And almost like they were putting on a performance for us.
Let's go to Clearwater, Florida. Scott, Mr. the Rockies. Hi, Scott. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. They were putting a show on for you, Brad. They knew that you'd be watching, so they put on a little play.
Okay.
You can't figure out what these things are, but I figured it out when I first heard about The UFO. So actually, the supernatural actually stay with supernatural. You say they're multi-dimensional, but you can't really kind of stay away from things that are actually supernatural.
I don't think you've read many of my books, have you?
I've never read any of your books,
Well, then you would know that I began speaking of the supernatural aspect back in the 60s, much to the dismay of my fellow researchers.
And, I still think a lot of people would say they're dimensional, they're demonic. I still think they're coming from planetary systems within our galaxy.
Well, you cannot deny that as a workable theory, but as we said, it's such a multi-layered theory. And certainly the spiritual or the supernatural people always, that's kind of a knee-jerk word for a lot of people, but I think we understand what we mean when I say that. That aspect of another dimension, another world, another supernatural, whatever you define that, because there are so many similarities between UFO phenomena, aliens, and ghosts.
Fascinating discussion. For Dan Galante, Tom Dan Heiser, Lisa Lyon, Lex Lonehood, Sean Ladashore, Stephanie Smith, Chris Bowles, Tim Benall, George Knapp, and Ian Punnett. I'm George
That
Moore.
bitch says it's being sent, dog.
We'll see you on our next
This bitch
edition.
says.
Until then,
Fuck.
be safe.
Yes.
Hey, all the Team Shark. For emergency backup power, there's only one name. Duffy Power. Since 1965, Southern California has relied on Duffy for hospitals and high-rises, data centers and school districts, every form of business, big or small, even homes and RVs. Whether it's a new generator, an emergency rental, or Duffy's legendary repair and maintenance service, Duffy Power has you covered. Go to DuffyPower.com, DuffyPower.com. That's DUTHIE Power.com.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 38,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit Uline.com. Someone uses your toilet and it overflows. Can you imagine how embarrassing that is for your guests and for you? Hello, I'm John Aquarian, founder of Rooter Hero Plumbing. You're hosting a party, the water's on the floor, your guests have to tell you that the toilet is backed up. And worst of all, you have to tell your guests that they can't use the bathroom. I shudder when they tell this story because it happened to me. Can you imagine? I own Rooter Hero Plumbing and my toilet overflowed. Talk about being humble. Well, the truth is,
He had to cut something in there because
and
he doesn't
the
understand
solution
what
is
the
called
something.
866 Drain 77. That's what I did, and our plumber was here within the hour. Not because I'm the owner, but that's just what we do. I'm so confident that you'll be satisfied with our services that I'll put my cell phone number on every business phone. 866 Drain 77. That's 866 Drain 77. If you missed it, we got it.
Los Angeles, Orange County, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Nash and Hall. I'm Bree Tennis in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Police are looking for thieves who made off with an ATM machine in what is being called a smash and fall. It happened at a convenience store at a gas station in Orange. Surveillance video shows two men breaking the window, tying one end of a strap to a white pickup truck, the other end to the ATM inside. The store is reporting about $15,000 in damages and about $6,000 lost in the ATM. Police say the theft took mere minutes. The death toll from the earthquake in Turkey and Syria has now surpassed 16,000. The World Health Organization is now sending in healthcare resources to prevent people from dying in the aftermath of the quake. SoCal Edison says they're raising their rates by 4.4%. The company says higher natural gas prices are impacting their ability to deliver power. There's a bus driver shortage in LA. As a result, there are longer wait times and fewer routes. The driver who drove off a parking structure next to Children's Hospital of Orange County confused the gas pedal for the brake. The 69-year-old woman drove off the structure, landing about 15 feet on the roof of an adjacent building. Only minor injuries reported. California Assembly member Isaac Ryan is proposing an amendment to the California Constitution that would allow people serving time at state or federal prisons to vote.
It's a responsibility to make sure that our democracy in California isn't just good. Now is the time to make sure that democracy truly includes everybody.
Disney says Frozen, Toy Story, and Zootopia sequels are all in the works. They're also cutting 7,000 jobs. And the Quarterly Journal of Economics says domestic violence increases after the Super Bowl by about 10%. Southline weather from KFI. It's that mostly sunny skies today. Highs reaching in the mid to upper 70s. Right now it's 50 degrees in Mission Viejo. Anaheim checks in with 51. 55 in Torrance and 52 in Walnut. We lead local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Bree Tennant.
In South Cedar Valley, there is a freeway closure, 405 northbound from Brookers to Warner Avenue. Caltrans has always shut down for road work until 5. In the city of Orange, we have good news. Earlier crash on the 55 northbound at the 22 has been cleared from lanes. Your traffic is recovering in that area. And in Big City, there is a full freeway closure. This is on the 10 westbound from National all the way to Overland Avenue. Caltrans has always shut down for road work until 4. KFI, the Sky Hopes get you there faster. O'Brien, man. AT&T's DirecTV just removed Newsmax from 13 million homes. AT&T owns DirecTV, and this is the second conservative channel they removed in a year. Meanwhile, DirecTV is still keeping what they call 22 liberal news channels on. So if you're angry about the censorship, Newsmax wants you to speak up. Newsmax is the 4th highest rated cable news channel. DirecTV isn't taking off the other liberal channels. Ron DeSantis says Newsmax was targeted and it's wrong. Newsmax says AT&T and DirecTV censorship is unacceptable. If you care about censorship, seriously consider canceling your DirecTV and AT&T service. And if you're a DirecTV or an AT&T customer, call 877-Newsmax and they'll connect you. You can contact your congressman to complain about censorship. Call 877-Newsmax. They'll connect you too. Millions are joining Newsmax's fight. Show your support. Call 877-Newsmax now. With the awards, big game fun, and Valentine's deals, I think that makes for one of those go good times. Now your top reasons to visit the window.
Get a Sonic Space Gamer when you earn 500 points on your reward card for 13th and 14th.
Number 2.
Big Game Blowout. You can win $1 in cash playing with your reward cards during the game.
And the number 1 reason.
Big Game Blitz. The big game with amazing food and drink specials.
Moando, good time. Hey, all, it's Team Shark. Did you hear the news? Yeah, California Utilities Commission just changed the rates by which solar customers are credited for their power output. It's called net metering 3.0. It's now the law. No one is happy about it because it means getting 75% less credit from the big power companies. But good news is there's a grandfathering period, and you can still permanently lock in awesome rates of net metering 2.0, but you need to have your solar documents filed by April 14th. The point is this: if you have ever thought about going solar, now is the time. Which means now is the time to call Sunlux. Sunlux will walk you through how to lock in net metering 2.0 by the April 14th deadline. Even if you're not ready to install the system, call Sunlux and get your solar documents filed. There is no time to waste to lock in the best returns on solar you will ever see. Start today. Sunlux.com. Sunlux.com. CSLB 100837. Hey, Crash, Big Cat. If you've been injured in an accident, call high accident lawyer today. One ring to be cut. suspects, and the community still desperate for answers 30 years later.
Tammy's supposed to be on campus, and she's not here. And people are starting to get worried.
Listen to Paper Ghost on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. This is Jacob Emma. If you've been in a truck accident, call 844-24-JACOB. KFI AM 640. This program has been pre-recorded. From the City of Angels near the Pacific Ocean, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be across the nation, around the world. I'm George Horry. This is Coast to Coast AM. Later tonight, the ET Presence. Here's what's happening. More than 15,000 people have already been killed and tens of thousands injured after that magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck Turkey and Syria on Monday. At least 3 U.S. citizens were killed in Turkey. Thousands of buildings collapsed, and aid agencies are particularly worried about northwestern Syria, where already more than 4 million people were already relying on humanitarian assistance before the earthquake. Disney said it would cut 7,000 jobs from its global workforce, part of a multi-billion-dollar cost-cutting initiative aimed at streamlining the company's operations. In a period of media industry turmoil, Disney had about 220,000 workers as of October 1st, of which approximately 166,000 of them were employed here in the United States. A cut of 7,000 jobs represents about 3% of its global workforce. Mr. Sedgwick, a registered investment advisor with us. Well, sign of the times. Other companies are doing the same thing, Miss.
Let's do a quick recap here. In November, Meta, Facebook laid off 11,000. In November, Amazon laid off 10,000. In January of this year, Google laid off 12,000. Microsoft laid off 10,000. Salesforce laid off 8,000. Amazon laid off another 8,000. And IBM laid off 3,000.
And Dell just announced 6,500 workers.
It's really incredible. That last job report, George, we need to talk about that because the headline number was we created 894,000 jobs. I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this headline number, I'm saying, why? And if you open the report, 810,000 of those 894 were a population revision. So the baseline job growth was actually 84,000, not 894,000 like they said. So, it's really strange. I need to get in a message here for the listeners because this is going to potentially affect, millions of taxpayers. And this announcement just came out a couple of days ago from the IRS. They're telling people to hold off filing their returns because the 12 states, California and Virginia are 2 of them, issued these inflation tax refunds. California called theirs a middle class tax fund. In California, almost 32 million people got these checks, and the IRS is telling people, well, we haven't decided yet whether this is taxable income or not. So anybody who filed and getting a refund, well, maybe the refund isn't as big as they thought it would be. And this is going on in 12 states. They're telling people, and most probably don't even know about it here yet, George, that they might have to refile. So my word of advice would be, don't spend this off, and wait for the ruling
Now, no doubt the Biden administration is going to pressure the IRS to say, this is just free money, but we'll see. I don't know, and, the IRS doesn't either yet, George.
All right, my friend, we'll talk to you next week.
Some fabuloso cleaning products have been recalled over risk of bacteria contamination in them, according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. As of the recall, no incidents or injuries have been reported. The Colgate-Palmolive Company, the manufacturer of the popular brand, recalled about 4.9 million bottles in the U.S., 56,000 in Canada. Fabuloso says about 3.9 million of those bottles were never released for sale. A Texas man accused of targeting Latinos during a 2019 massacre of 23 people at an El Paso Walmart store has pleaded guilty to federal hate crimes. Patrick Crusius changed his plea to guilty during a hearing in the U.S. District Court in Texas after federal prosecutors said they would not seek the death penalty if he pled guilty. California voters could decide whether to reinstate voting rights to people in prison on felony convictions under a newly proposed constitutional amendment. It would be a major expansion of suffrage for incarcerated people who pass. California would join Maine and Vermont, as well as the District of Columbia, as the only states where felons never lose their right to vote, even while they are still in prison. Let's check in with Howard Bloom, author of The Genius of the Beast. Howard, what do you think of this one?
Well, Monday, a constitutional amendment was introduced in the California legislature by Assembly Member Isaac Bryan, and Bryan's amendment, as you said, would give voting rights to people in prison on felony convictions. 2 days later, David Cruz, an ex-felon who spent 13 years in state prison and then helped organize a nonprofit called Initiate Justice, held a press conference to support the president's vote amendment. Cruz said, despite what many people assume, people in prison care about the same political issues that we outside do. So the question is the issue of the right of prisoners to vote important, or is it just trivial? First off, the amendment is not a shoo-in. To become law, it will have to get a 2/3 vote in both California Senate and California's Assembly, and that'll be rough. But if passed, will the amendment automatically do what the Initiate Justice program wants? Will it, quote, advance progressive policies in California? The progressives point out that blacks are only 6% of California's population, but they are a full 20% of California's prisons. And if any of these people were falsely accused, the way that Tyree Nichols was a month ago, some of these prisoners may be jailed for simply being black, so the argument goes, this is a voter suppression issue. Explains the leader of America's progressive movement, Senator Bernie Sanders. Quote, if we were serious about calling ourselves a democracy, we must firmly establish that the right to vote is an inalienable and universal principle that applies to all American citizens 18 years and older, period, whether you're in jail or not. And as you'd expect, Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Republicans in the Senate, disagrees. He says, quote, voting is a privilege properly exercised, and so voting is not from a prison. We are talking about rapists, murderers, robbers, and even terrorists or spies. We want to see convicted terrorists who seek to destroy the country voting in elections. Do we want to see jailhouse blocks banding together as sheriffs and government officials who are tough on crime? And what both Sanders and McConnell ignore is that there are groups in prison far better organized than the Republican or Democratic parties, and that those groups could easily dictate who a prisoner votes for. First, the black prison population has been subject since 1950 to recruitment by the Nation of Islam, a virulently anti-Semitic organization whose head calls Jews for life and Satanists. Today, 18% of America's 2 billion prisoners are black Muslims. That's roughly 350,000 prisoners nationwide. A big chunk of potential votes. Then there are prison gangs. The Latin population of prisons is controlled by the Mexican mafia, who maintain obedience by killing those who stray from their orders. And the white population is ruled by groups like the anti-Semitic Aryan Brotherhood and the Nazi lowriders, who enforce their power with torture and murder. What's worse, these groups also control networks of gangs outside the prison system. Their revenue stream comes from the sale of drugs inside and outside of prison. It's given a machine. You think the Nation of Islam, the Mexican Mafia, and the Aryan Brotherhood would tell prisoners who who to vote for? I suspect they would. I agree that to maintain a democracy, the right to vote should be absolute. And that the forms of voter suppression first invented 148 years ago, to suppress the votes of newly liberated slaves, should be abolished. But in this debate, it's important to take into account the mechanisms of severe voter enforcement that may be possible far beyond the bounds of progressives and conservatives in our country.
And do you believe, Howard, that if you commit a felony, you give up your rights?
Well, that's a really tough one. And I'm a Democrat, so I'm supposed to believe that you don't give up your right to vote. But I'm still undecided about that one.
That's a tough one indeed. Howard, thanks so much. Up next, have you noticed how the price of food has been skyrocketing? I'll be talking with a farmer about that. His book is called Everything I Wanted to Do Is Illegal, War Stories from the Local Food Farm. Joel Salatin joins us next on Coast to Coast. Imagine you're in a room with four other people. Statistically, one of you is a victim of identity theft. That's right, 1 in 5. And these aren't careless people either. They're probably a lot like you, watching your accounts and credit. But that isn't always enough, especially with your personal info in more places than ever. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself by monitoring your identity and alerting you to threats you couldn't miss on your own. If you become a victim of identity theft, a U.S.-based LifeLock restoration specialist will be dedicated to your case and work to fix it. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock or go to lifelock.com and use promo code George. That's promo code George to save up to 25% off your first year, or 1-800-LifeLock.
Real people, real tools.
I have bruising that's all over my arms. 3 weeks after I was on the carnivore, I noticed, I'm looking at my arms, and I said, gee, I don't have any bruises on my arms, and I'm always full of bruises. I can't put my finger on it, but I know something's happening. I have to tell you, that has to be a carnivore. I've got a Labrador. It calmly lifts itself up off the floor. I won't tell you what's been there. The treatment was chemotherapy. And I said, no way. That's when I said, you know what, this could be the ticket. So I started administering it. She took to it right away. 3 weeks. You can tell. She's pretty alert. Into the protocol. She seemed like she was she was going to fly on walks. I'm like, my goodness, she was just like crying.
Call 866-836-8735. That's 866-836-8735. Or visit carnivore.com. That's carnivora.com.
And welcome back to Coast. George Norrie with you. Joel Salatin with us. His family owns Poly Farm Base in Virginia, Shenandoah Valley. It's a farm producing and directing marketing salad bar beef, figurator pork, pasteurized poultry, and pastured eggs. Plus books, he speaks at food, farming, and health conferences all around the planet. Polyface Farm is a good farm that featuring in the award-winning documentary Food Inc. and features prominently as the ecological alternative in the New York Times bestseller Omnivore's Dilemma. Welcome, Joel Salatin, to the program. First time for you, Joel. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir, George. Thank you. It's a privilege and an honor to be with you.
And you are right. The prices are skyrocketing. What is going on?
Well, there's everything from the war in Ukraine, messing up with fertilizer prices. But I think that one of the biggest changes that's happened. Of course, you've got the regular inflation, with crazy things going on with printing money out of thin air and things like that. But beyond that, what really facilitated this, I think, initially, was simply that the very, very large processors that are supposed to be so efficient actually came out being fragile, during COVID lockdowns and all that. And these are aircraft carriers. These are mega 5,000, employee outfit, and when you've got that many people crammed in a dark, cool place, it's not a very healthy work environment, and so the centralization of the food system um, actually exacerbated the problem of keeping people on work, quarantining, all those kinds of things. It drove human resources, it drove HR departments not to live, and these big companies are having to devote an inordinate amount of time and energy to HR requirements and things like that. And so I think the long and short of it is that the question I ask people is, do you think we would have had as big a hiccup if instead of the nation being supplied by 300 centralized mega processing plants, if we'd been supplied by 300,000, maybe 50-person community-based, processing and canneries and things like that plants? Would we have had as big a hiccup? And of course, the answer is no.
How many acres do you farm in Virginia?
Well, we own 950, and then we rent another 1,500.
That's a lot.
A lot of it's woodland, some of it is, but this is not the backyard operation. And the beautiful thing for us was, when fertilizer prices jumped 400% when Russian fertilizer was cut off, it didn't affect us at all because we don't buy any chemical fertilizer. And so here we are as a smaller outfit. I call it the speedboat in an aircraft carrier food world. And when there are disturbances, and you're on the shoals and you're trying to navigate rocks, you don't want to be in an aircraft carrier. You want to be in a speedboat and turn and adapt and move around better.
Absolutely. How did you start farming?
Well, our family started here. I was just 4 when Mom and Dad bought this place, run down rock mile gullied farmstead of the community in 1961, and they never made a living from a farm. They always wanted to, but never did. But we went to experimenting. Dad was an accountant, Mom was a school teacher. That paid for the land, and I got my first chickens when I was 10 years old. And started my love affair with farming. I never wanted to leave. And then the question was, well, how do I make a living here? Dad worked in town, Mom worked away, and I had this blank slate of land here. Can we make a living on it? And that's what we did.
Good for you. You wrote this book, Everything I Wanted to Do Is Real. Tell me about the title.
Yeah, well, the first big wake up. So we're now going back to the early 70s. I was 10 in 1967, so I got some chickens and it grows. And Dad, as an accountant, realized that as a small farm, we couldn't compete at the commodity level because the margins are so small. You have to be a good big operation if your margin is real tidy. You got to have a whole lot of bushels of corn or pounds of beef or whatever to be at the commodity level. So we needed to wear all the middleman hats. The processor, the distributor, the marketer, and if we could wear those middleman hats and direct market, so we create a branded product and sell it direct to neighbors and friends and people in the area, then we would get off of that scale treadmill that the low margin people are on. And our town, our city, Canton, had a leftover depressionary curb market. This is before farmers market. This was a depressionary curb market that farmers could go to, and there was a memorandum of understanding with the food police, the inspection people, and the marketing people that if you were involved with the extension service, so you were getting government bulletins and you were attending meetings of the 4-H or women's homemakers clubs, things like that you could sell at that market without inspection. And so I grew up through my teen years every Saturday morning of the year, indoor market, getting up at 4 o'clock, going down there, market open at 6 o'clock, and selling eggs, and we milked a couple birds and cows. We sold butter, buttermilk, cottage cheese, yogurt. We would butcher a beef in the meadow. We could cut it up. I could chicken and sell them. And I grew up doing this without any inspection whatsoever, and it's wrong. People loved this. And we were this was 15 years ahead of the organic food movement. And so I'm getting ready to come back to the farm, and I was doing, I'm thinking, back to the farm full time. Well, I could just, milk a couple cows and sell the milk to neighbors at regular supermarket prices, not backed up to the door or anything. And I'm in business, and I could do it. And so I get out of college, I come home, I'm going to start, and guess what? All that is illegal. And it's never gotten out of my system that what seems to be, what should be a simple thing, transacting business among neighbors, has become a very marginalized thing. So over the years, we started processing chicken in the backyard. That the government came and told us, we were criminals, had to close down. And so we've had all these fights over the years trying to maintain access, to the market without million-dollar infrastructure requirements that these regulations require. People don't realize that the food regulations are scale prejudicial. If you're big, they're easy. If you're small, they're very difficult because they don't recognize scale. And that's the problem. So when we have supply chain issues, food issues, food quality issues, recalls, all those kinds of things, what that means is that the regulatory process is prohibiting the kind of innovative, creative competition that would be able to come to the marketplace from community-based entrepreneurs.
So we really never have had serious food shortages that I can recall in my lifetime, except when events occur like bad weather or COVID, when the shelves go crazy. What happens?
Well, I think you're exactly right. We haven't had these kinds of things. Bare shelves have been a fairly new thing. Of course, again, COVID was certainly a black swan, and again, that was a glitch in which there were, all the restaurants, all the institutional food chain was going that direction. The residential food chain was going this direction. Suddenly, when all the restaurants shut down, there was not enough capacity to make those kind of switches in order to deal with the with the increase in the residential food chain. So that was certainly an anomaly. But I think beyond that, now we're into this high pathogenic agent influenza situation, which hit us in 2015. Hit us earlier than that as well. It's just a kind of cyclical, rolling thing, and that's creating habits as well. It generally does not affect smaller flocks or even faster flocks like ours.
Hold on for a second, Joel. We're at a break. We'll come back and pick it up and talk more about the food sources here and why the prices keep going up, and when do they start coming back down? Sign up now for Coast Zone, our free email newsletter. Get it today at coasttocoastam.com.
I'm Repent from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Two people are in critical condition after crashing into a Metrolink train in San Bernardino. Police say the driver failed to stop for the guard crossing arm, drove across the tracks at a high rate of speed. About 30 passengers were aboard the train. One suffered minor The second car, a Honda, was split in two and flipped over. The driver of that car, a woman in her 40s, died at the scene. The driver of the Corvette died in an area hospital. And licensed cannabis catering with Assemblyville 471 taxi. South by highs and mids were upper 70s. Right now it's 50 in Irvine, 51 for Huntington Beach, 48 in Redondo Beach, and 53 in Burbank. We lead local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Bree Pennon.
In the big city, there is a full freeway closure at the W10 westbound National T overlays. All lanes are going to be shut down for road work until 4. Montebello, this is on the 60 eastbound right before Paramount Boulevard. Little fender there, left out of lanes is on the right shoulder. Watch for looking little lanes as you approach this area. Fountain Valley, there's a full freeway closure for 405 northbound to Brookers to Warner Avenue. All lanes are going to be shut down for road work until 5. KFI at the sky. Don't forget to get faster on Friday, Dan.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
This President's Day, don't miss Sit and Save Hail to the Cheap sale. Don't you mean hail to the cheap, Larry? No, Erwin, hail to the cheap. With over 50% off the best brands. Plus, with your good credit, buy today and pay interest-free for 36 months. On purchase of about $3,000 with your minimum monthly payment is 10% down. I'm going straight to hail, because you're killing me, Larry. Didn't think will beat anyone's advertised price or your mattress is free. With the awards, Big Game Fun, and Valentine's deals, I think that makes Morongo the go-to suit guys. Now I give top reasons to visit the leader.
Get a Sonic face steamer when you earn 500 points on the report card. The 13th and 14th.
Number 2,
Big Game Blowout. You get the biggest grand in cash playing with the report cards during the game.
and the number 1 reason,
Big Game Blitz. The big game with amazing food and drink specials.
Morongo, good times. Live from Radio Row, it's Super Bowl week, and there's no better way to stay up to speed than with the Around the NFL podcast. Join me, Dan Hansis, and my buds, Mark Sessler and Greg Rosenthal for the latest football news with just a touch of mirth.
We've got the number 1 football podcast in the world, and Rihanna is playing the Apple Music halftime show. It doesn't get much better than that, guys. Hang out with us live from Glendale, Arizona, all week long. Listen to Around the NFL on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk.
You'll sleep like a baby, knowing you'll never miss your favorite guests or topics ever again. Remember, a 1-year subscription comes down to only 15 cents a day. Sign up today at coasttocoastam.com. Premier Networks presents Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
We'll take your calls next hour with Joel Salatin as we talk about food prices and jump aboard and share some stories with us. March 18th, we're going to Sedona, Arizona for our live stage. We sure are, and boy, it's starting to fill up now. We're going to be part of the Sedona Ascension Retreats event. at the Sedona Performing Arts Center, March 17th through the 19th. Our live show will be Saturday the 18th, but all 3 days they're going to have nonstop live music, food vendors, workshops, speakers. Billy Carson will be there, William Henry will be there, Suzanne Ross, Paul Selig, the list goes on. There's a UFO Skywatch, tons of going on. So if you're interested, just head over to coasttocoastam.com, and all that info is right there on the website. Okay, and then the May come, we're going to work. Yep, we're not going to stop. We're going to invade the amazing Granada Theater in the Dalles, Oregon. It's 84 miles east of Portland. We'll have 3 guests that night: Dr. Sky, Stephen Cates, UFO abductee Travis Walton, and from Animal Planet, Bigfoot hunter Matt Moneymaker. Tonight will include a Q&A, live band, a salute to our veterans, all the great stuff that we do. And these are a lot of fun, George. We put microphones up and people can walk up and talk to anybody on stage, and it's just a lot of fun. So again, head over to coasttocoastam.com, and Lex has got all the info right for this very stuff. So very interactive. Curious. All right, here's something for you to build up your immune system.
HealthyLooking.com from Dr. Alan Millay brings 4 decades of experience in natural products for the exclusive stem cell wellness kit that works with your body's stem cells to assist your immune system. Here's Dr. Millay with more.
Whether it's physical activity, obesity, diet, smoking, low on hormones, stress, sleep disorders, or your age, can be supported by reducing inflammation and aiding the body to heal itself appropriately. A stem cell is a cell waiting to be told what it needs to be. If there is inflammation, that inflammation needs to be stopped. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, kidney disease, various types of cancer, depression, Alzheimer's disease, autoimmune disorders, osteoporosis, even fatty liver are chronic signs of inflammation and can be aided by supporting the body's ability to protect those cells that it needs. And that is the purpose of ImmuStem and AdaptoStem together, supporting the body to be healthy.
Dr. Millay, how will I feel after taking AdaptoStem and ImmuStem?
The ImmuStem is going to have an immediate effect, but I tell you, your immune system is starting to function better after 24 hours. You put AdaptoStem along with it, and most will feel it within 30 minutes.
Order now at HealthyLooking.com. The Stem Cell Wellness Kit from Dr. Millay protects your body's stem cells and will make you feel better faster. The Stem Cell Wellness Kit with AdaptoStem and ImmuStem and your Sleep Relaxol is only available at HealthyLooking.com or toll free at 800-563-3980. That's 800-563-3980. Don't forget to enter promo code George for free shipping. George's Stem Cell Wellness Kit at HealthyLooking.com. That's HealthyLooking.com.
Imagine you're in a room with 4 other people. Statistically, one of you is a victim of identity theft. That's right, one in 5. And these aren't careless people either. They're probably a lot like you, watching your accounts and credit. But that isn't always enough, especially with your personal info in more places than ever. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself by monitoring your identity and alerting you to threats you could miss on your own. If you become a victim of identity theft, the U.S.-based LifeLock restoration specialist will be dedicated to your case and work to fix it. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock or go to lifelock.com and use promo code George. That's promo code George to save up to 25% off your first year, or 1-800-LifeLock. 2023 is off to a turbulent start, and the U.S. broke through the $31.4 trillion debt ceiling in January. No slowing on spending. It's times like these that you want to have physical gold and silver on hand. You can buy it at bullionmax.com/coast. Go to bullionmax.com/coast and purchase your silver starter kit. It's 6 ounces of solid silver, including a limited vintage Aztec calendar coin, something Bullion Max and I set up for Coast to Coast listeners. bullionmax.com/coast.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
If you need
Yes.
And welcome back to Coast. George Miller with you, with Joel Sullivan is with us. His website is polyfacefarms.com. Link up at coasttocoastam.com. We'll take calls with Joel next hour. Joel, we're talking about the empty shelves and the price of food and all this. What about fertilizer? You talk about how fertilizer prices have skyrocketed. What happened?
Yes.
Well, what happened was Russia supplies most of the raw ingredients for chemical fertilizers, potassium, nitrogen, phosphorus, and when we embargoed them because they invaded Ukraine, then that cut off all of that supply to farmers. And so, what we have here is a series of black swan events: COVID, invading Ukraine, those kinds of things. So that a farm that's dependent on outside, the more you depend on outside places, the more fragile. We've been working with just-in-time inventorying for a long time, and now we're working with just-in-case. And so efficiency is now giving way to resilience. Centralization is giving way to decentralization. And to combat these things, we need competition to take over cronyism within the food system. And so, all of those things are confluing to create a problem.
It could be a nightmare when it all adds up, can it?
Yep.
Well, yeah, it certainly can be a nightmare. And we never know where the tipping point is. People like me have argued against the concentrated animal feeding operation, corn, soybean, non-diversified ecological systems. Nature doesn't like single species. It likes diversity. Nature likes complexity, not simplicity. Nature likes a lot of relational stuff, not singular. And so when you stress the system like this, when you, I could just say, abuse it this directly, there's going to be consequences. I mean, if we sit down, we had a diabolical committee, let's say, we're the bad guy in a 007 movie, right? And we had this idea, let's create a pathogen toxic friendly food system. Well, we'd have a single species, we would cram them in real close, there wouldn't be any rest, there'd be no sunlight,
Yoshi.
the animals be breathing fecal particulate all the time, there'd be no exercise, and we have social stress because herd is blind. It's so huge. This is modern American agriculture. And so if nature adapts last, and when you start to assault it as directly as we have as a culture, you have problems.
What about GMO foods?
Yeah, so GMOs, we don't use any GMOs here. Good. But every day there's more and more information coming out on the deleterious effects of genetically modified organisms. You got to realize that there are reasons why nature has boundaries. And of course, I love innovation, but when you start overriding nature's boundaries, that there are all sorts of things that preclude, a pig containing, wheat DNA or a salmon containing, pig DNA. Those are barriers that, whether you believe, in creation or whether you believe in evolution or whatever, those are barriers that the natural template has erected to maintain, genetic diversity.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about, adaptation like the Eskimos that take colder than, the people in Brazil, okay? I'm talking about adaptation. I'm talking about adaptation to your environment. And so when we override those barriers, and we're seeing those in all sorts of conditions, and GMOs are now indicated in all sorts of problems, including the fact that GMOs allowed an incredible increase in the use of glyphosate, which is, of course, Monsanto's in what can be used on them inordinately that wouldn't normally be used. That's another element of the problem.
Did Bayer, when they bought Monsanto, make a bad purchase?
That would be debated by business analysts for a long time. I will tell you this, that we've never seen a product that has a $7 billion payout for product lawsuits. We've never seen a product with that big a payout war chest continue to sell the product on the market. You know, if you think back in our lifetime, we think of these, huge things like the Johnson powder, things like that. Sure. When stuff gets pulled massively from or has this level of complaints on it, pull the product. Yeah, they pull the product. This one is the first one that I remember in my lifetime that has a global, problems, and they just continue to manufacture right along. It's okay, we've got $7 billion payout, we pay that, we just keep going. I've never seen anything like it.
What happens to food production, Joel, if we just don't fertilize, if we don't chemicalize, we just stop on it?
Well, of course, the naysayers will say, well, look at Sri Lanka, what happened there? Sri Lanka, they starved and all that. Well, it's because chemical fertilizer is a lot like a drug addiction, which is one of the reasons my dad didn't go for it. We do large-scale composting here. We have all sorts of on-site, basically a carbon economy. Nature runs on carbon, it doesn't run on chemicals. And so it's all about the decomposition. It's a lot like think of a compost pile as a.
I remember pressing the try, and it was like, oh, fuck.
And so what happens is, if you artificially fertilize, then it's like a drug addiction, and you can't just go off immediately. You have to come off gently.
That's great, fella.
And so the bottom line is, can we produce all the food without these chemicals? Absolutely, we sure can. The fact is that we have created a mechanical, chemical approach to food when it's fundamentally biological. But the biological approach didn't get a shot in the arm from World War II or stockpiles of potassium, nitrogen, and all this that was left over after World War II. And it took a while for the front-end loaders, plastic pipes, chippers, chainsaws, things that made efficient carbon handling efficient on the farm. It took, the 50s and 60s to develop that. Meanwhile, the chemical approach was gaining a foothold, gaining the orthodoxy. And the truth is, if we had a Manhattan Project for compost, not only would we get the world, we would have done it without three-legged frogs, infertile salamanders, and a dead zone the size of Rhode Island in the Gulf of Mexico.
Joel, I hear that China owns a lot of our farmland. Is that true?
They do, but these things are sometimes, people don't realize how big they can be. China owns, 400,000 acres or something like that. That is such a tiny amount of land. I think what's got people more concerned about China's ownership of the land is that they have strategically purchased it near U.S. military installations. I see the missile silos and stuff. But 400,000 acres is not that. I mean, there are ranches that size, owned ranches that size. But it's the strategic location of those acres, I think, that's got people's eyebrows raised.
Bill Gates is in the farmland, too,
yeah. Yes, he certainly is. When Ted Turner was the largest owner back, 30 years ago, he was buying ranches. He was in the bison. Bring back the American and the bison. Bill Gates is not buying ranch land. He's buying farmland all into crops. So what he envisions is a livestock-less future, a cow-less future, in which we're going to grow all the protein in laboratories. And it's going to be feedstock. It's going to be soybeans and corn. And so Bill Gates wants to go to monocropping with chemical fertilization on everything and eliminate the animals, eliminate the cyclical manure, manure animal blessing, the way nature has worked, and go to a strictly chemical monoculture, no pollinators, no birds, cerebral carbon silent spring deal on steroids. And that's his one. And will that work? Before we move to a laboratory-based, a techno-sophisticated food system, the less democratization we have in the food system. As long as the rain comes and the sun shines, a cow can eat grass and you can have nutrition. But if your nutrition has to come out of a $1 billion Bill Gates owned laboratory, you don't have food freedom. You are now completely dependent on something else.
Joel Salatin with us. We're going to take calls with Joel next hour here on Coast to Coast. Share some of your food stories with us. The price of eggs goes up, goes down, back up. Where is it right now?
Right now it's pretty high. I think it's going to take a while for all of this avian influenza material, and grain prices are very high. Grain prices are extremely high. They're 3 times higher than they were just 3 years ago. So of course, chickens are omnivores and they eat grain. They can't just eat grass. And so when grain prices go up, then egg prices go up. But I think what's really pushing egg prices is this high-fat avian influenza that's running through these CAFOs, constant animal feeding operations, that are inherently very unsanitary and unclean.
Amazing times, Joel, was that?
Yes, it is. When Joel Arthur wrote the book Paradigms back in the 70s, brought that word to the world, one of his axioms was that all paradigms eventually exceed their point of efficiency. And those of us who've been in the more biological part, the ecological part of the food movement, have been saying all along, what's the tipping point? So we put 10,000 birds in a house. And then we put 20,000, and then 50,000, then 100,000.
Yeah.
So where's the tipping point where that paradigm finally shifts? And it appears to me that as rapid as these cycles are, and as ubiquitous now within the industry, that maybe we're starting to approach that tipping point.
If you could solve one dilemma as it has to do with farming, what would that be?
If I could do one thing for farming, it would be to create a food emancipation proclamation to allow every citizen the right to the food of their choice from the source of their choice. Right now, we have numerous judges ruling that Americans don't have freedom of food choice. You say you go into Walmart, Costco, and you Kroger, you say, what do you mean we don't have? We got all this choice. But that choice is a very, very narrowly defined choice through a government licensing permitting system that precludes a lot of things that you would be able to have otherwise. If you want Matilda's quiche instead of brand Kroger, you can't buy Matilda's quiche unless you get a bunch of government permits and that sort of thing. We're talking about food deserts in the urban areas. There are all sorts of holes in the food system, from choice to supply, and a food emancipation proclamation, so that if you wanted to come to my farm, look around, smell around, ask around, and as two consenting adults engage in voluntary transactions, we can engage in a food trade. That would be great. Right. This is not about food safety. I can butcher a chicken in the backyard. I can milk a cow. I can give it away. But as soon as money changes hands, now I'm a criminal. And so if we would allow direct producer-consumer interaction in the food system, we would have thousands and thousands of small-scale entrepreneurs, community-based entrepreneurs coming to the system to democratize the system and create competition with innovation and creativity in the marketplace.
What's going on with food companies like Tyson?
Food companies like Tyson, they're
still rolling along here.
Well, Wall Street Journal had a big article. I haven't read it yet. I think it came in yesterday. Wall Street Journal that they're profit is down 78%. Of course, again, they're fighting supply chain issues, increased rate, all these input costs. And so what you want is a food system that is as weaned as possible from dependency on off-farm input. And so our farm runs on carbon. We don't buy fertilizer. We have a great big chipper, and so we chip junk trees. If all the biomass that we spend $5 billion a year fighting fires, if that biomass were simply converted to compost for farms, so that we took all the money we currently spend on chemical fertilizers and put it into biomass carbon production, we could grow all the food we want. We could eliminate the fires. We could employ thousands of people in direct ecological massage and caress and honor the thousands of people who actually want to work outside and get spiders and calluses on their hands, interacting with our ecological room, and we would grow earthworms. We would have more nutrient-dense food, and the whole thing would change. So there are absolute opportunities out here, and we just need to look to nature for the template.
Joe, we're going to come right back and spend an hour taking phone calls with you next on Coast to Coast AM.
Coast Insiders, the new version of the Coast to Coast AM app, is now available for iPhones and now Android 4.0 and above. Listen live or on demand, anywhere, anytime. Go to coasttocoastam.com and download it today.
Hey, it's Neil Sedatra. With energy costs on the rise, old aluminum, wood, even vinyl windows can add to your electric and gas bills. So replace your inefficient windows with new, affordable, custom-made windows. Do it once, do it right with American Vision Windows. The windows they installed at my home are gorgeous, and their team takes great pride in their work, and they give great energy-saving advice. The owners, Bill and Kathleen, they started American Vision Windows because they had a horrible experience replacing their own windows decades ago. Value you deserve, and until 2024, 0% interest and 0 payments for 12 months plus free installation. CSLB number 778326. Trust the window company that I trust, my family, my friends trust, American Vision Windows. Call today, get that free estimate, 888-226-9908. That's 888-226-9908, or visit AmericanVisionWindows.com. Reviewed and issued internationally.
Yoshi. Oh my God.
We are America's largest injury law firm, and that means more than 800 lawyers, more offices nationwide, and more than $15 billion recovered for our clients. Get experienced representation, support staff 24/7, and much more. See what people are saying about us. Check out any of our more than 28,000 five-star Google reviews of satisfied clients. You deserve more, and we at Morgan & Morgan are ready to fight for more. Don't wait. Dial pound 1 or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. When you call America's largest injury firm, you get the backing of a national firm, along with a dedicated team from your community and Big Bad Us. When you need a fighter, you need us. Call America's largest injury law firm. Call Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
Not just ignorant talk, it's more. Los Angeles, Orange County. Live, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The flyover will be done by women. I'm Bree Tennyson at KFI 24-hour newsroom. This Sunday's Super Bowl military flyover during the national anthem will have all female pilots. It's 50 years in the making as the first female aviators were accepted into the Navy program back in 1973. Smash and Haul is what the police are calling it. It happened at a convenience store at a gas station in Orange. Surveillance video shows men breaking a window and tying one end of a strap to a white pickup truck, the other end to the ATM inside. The store is reporting about $15,000 in damages, about $6,000 in the ATM. Police say this theft took just a few minutes. The death toll from the earthquake in Turkey and Syria has now surpassed 16,000. The World Health Organization is now sending in healthcare resources 2.4%. He says higher natural gas prices are impacting the ability to deliver. Twitter's reporting outages and error messages. This for Twitter Blue subscribers only. They say it's due to upping the character count from 280 to 4,000. They hope to have things worked out today. Kamala Harris says she's in. Mark Mayfield has the story.
She told CBS Mornings President Biden intends to run for another term, and she'll be right alongside him if he does. She also said the work they're doing is historic. The administration and Democrats were able to get many bills passed during the last 2 years when they had total control of government. However, they're now
a romantic dinner out for Valentine's Day. Men just want to get busy. Stop by Monday from KFI. We can expect mostly sunny skies today with highs reaching the mid to upper 70s. Right now it's 47 degrees in Fountain Valley. Orange checks in with 50. It's 55 in Santa Monica and 47 in Ontario. We lead local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Bree Tennis.
In Lake City, there is a full freeway closure facility that westbound from National to Overland. All lanes are going to be shut down for road work until 4. In Van Nuys, this is on the 405 northbound at Victory. Clear crews from an earlier car fire out of lanes and on the right shoulder. Watch for living with delays as you approach. Up in Valley, there is a full freeway closure. This is on the 405 northbound from Brookers to Warner Avenue. All lanes are going to be shut down for road work until 5. KFI in the sky. Let's get you there faster. Authorized van.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anywhere else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
The hit true crime podcast, Paper Ghost, is back with a brand new case. Season 3 digs deep into the 1992 cold case murder of Tanny Jozowicki, a New Jersey college student, and uncovers a murky police investigation, a pool of new suspects, and the community still desperate for answers 30 years later.
Tammy's supposed to be on campus, and she's not here, and people are starting to get worried.
Listen to Paper Ghost on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Before I started Rooter Hero Plumbing, I was an angry young man. Hello, I'm John McCoyan, founder of Rooter Hero Plumbing. I was angry because my dad died when I was 17 and he left me alone. I was angry because I couldn't go to college with my friends and because I had to drop out of high school. It's not a pleasant story. But as I grew older, I also grew up. I realized that my dad didn't leave me alone. He left me with values and principles that continue to shape my life. Dad said, be on time. He didn't like it when people were late. He taught me to be polite. It was something I lost, but we captured along the way. And he taught me to keep my promises, because broken promises lead to broken relationships. We teach and keep these values at Rooter Hero Plumbing. I think we have a pretty good company. I know we have great people. And if one of our heroes fails to live up to these values, please call me. My private number is on the back of every Rooter Hero business card. You can also reach us at rooterhero.com. Thank you. If you're looking to get out of your house, doesn't matter why you're moving, or maybe even get rid of a home, now what do you do? Usually you go to a real estate agent, 6%, and you're told to clean and paint and repair, and buyers are going to walk through, the house has to be pristine, and if you don't live there, you don't need any of that. How about getting a fair price for your home without any of that hassle? DirectBuyers.com will do exactly that. DirectBuyers.com, a local family-owned business, brother and sister, the way they do business. Now, there are a lot of schmucks out there in this business. I'm going to suggest you call DirectBuyers.com. They'll never lowball you. They'll give you an honest, no obligation offer, even a $15,000 cash advance before closing. Go to DirectBuyers.com.
I'll be right on this spot.
844-242-SELL. 844-242-SELL. DirectBuyers.com. This is Jacob Emron. If you've been involved in a motorcycle accident, call 844-24-JACOB.
AM 640. AM 640.
This is Jacob Emron. If you've been in an accident, call 844-24-JACOB. KFI AM 640.
To talk to George Norton, call the wildcard line at 818-501-4109. The first-time caller line is 818-501-4721. To talk toll-free from east of the Rockies, call 800-825-5033. From west of the Rockies toll-free, call 800-618-8255. To reach George via Skype, use Skype name George97313. Send George a text message anytime at 818-298-6521. This is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
Would you like to react to what you've been hearing? Jump aboard and make a call, and we'll be back with your calls in a moment. Coast to Coast AM. Polls keep showing a very tight race between former President Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for the nomination for 2024 for the Republican president. Even though DeSantis is not announced. This could be the biggest political battle yet. And Newsmax wants to know what you think. They're conducting a poll asking if President Trump should continue to run for the presidency or if DeSantis is in better mood. Vote in the Newsmax poll as soon as we can. Just text the word river to 39747 and they'll send you the information. That's river to 39747 and let your voice be heard. Tune in to Newsmax. It's news you can trust. Newsmax is carried on most major cable systems, so if your cable system doesn't carry them, call them and demand it. Be sure to vote in Newsmax poll on whether Mr. Trump should run again. Simply text the word river to 39747. That's river 39747 and make the switch to Newsmax. And don't forget their website, newsmax.com.
Tired of overpaying for your cell phone bill? Switch to Consumer Cellular and save up to half on your wireless plan. Their award-winning 100% U.S.-based customer support team makes switching easy. Plus, you can keep your phone and number with no contract or activation fees. They offer unlimited talk and text with a flexible data plan starting at just $20 a month. You can easily add your family and friends to your plan for just $15 a month per line. Never worry about drop outs. Consumer Cellular has the exact same coverage as the major carriers to over 99% of the nation. This is all backed by their 100% risk-free guarantee, join the millions of others who have switched. Go to consumercellular.com/radio25 and for a limited time, get $25 off when you use promo code radio25. That's consumercellular.com/radio25. Promo code radio25.
And welcome back to Coast, George Norrie with your Joel South in with this. Joel, how long does this continue before things really get out of control?
Well, that's a $64 million question. You know, like he thought it would start to collapse sooner than it has. It may be a long time, it may not be. Who knows? But for sure, to whatever, you know, make your food source more secure. For sure, you know, you need to start patronizing sources that don't depend on Ukrainian wheat, that don't depend on Russian fertilizer, that, you know, that actually honor the thickness of the pig, the thickness of the chicken, the tomato of the tomato, and have a shorter chain of custody, you know, to your table, you know, as local as possible. and farmers who aren't as dependent on these other, on these other things. I mean, no man is an island. Nobody's completely on their own. But what you can do is you can certainly minimize those dependencies.
I didn't realize how dependent we were on Russia's fertilizer.
Yeah, I don't think most people did. In fact, I'm in the business. I was a little bit surprised, but I don't buy it, so it wasn't a big deal to me. But yeah, I think all of us were a little bit taken aback, and I think if you knew the kind of fragility, that is within the system, it would actually take you aback. I mean, it presents big buildings and big machines and big numbers and all that, but in the end, it all belongs pretty closely on pathogenicity, toxicity, immune function, because life is not just mechanics. And food is life. Biology is life, and our country views life as fundamentally mechanical rather than biological. And I mean, just take the soil, for example. There are 7 billion beings in a handful of healthy soil, and we only have names for 10% of them. 90% of them, we don't have names for them. We don't even know what they do, and yet we run into that with a bunch of chemical fertilizer. Stick a chemical, ID into the soil and say, "Look at soil. All we need is just a chemical ID, and voila, we grow corn." And what was the old margarine? It's not nice to fool Mother Nature.
Not nice to fool Mother Nature.
Well,
It's chiffon.
we've been fooling nature for a long time.
Just like my sweet creamy butter.
Mechanical, chemical,
It's
industrial
chiffon.
complex, and who knows how long we can keep on. I mean, the people who oppose me say, "Oh, we're clever. Humans are clever.
It's not
We'll
nice to fool
always
Mother
be able to
Nature.
stay a step ahead of,
It's
of whatever."
chiffon.
I was in Australia
Really?
a couple of years ago getting my luggage out of the rack, and I have a cow ear tag on my luggage
It
so I
can
can
still be
identify it.
purchased in the
Two ladies were
Caribbean.
standing there, they saw the ear tag and said, "Oh, you a farmer?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What are you here for?" They said they were on their way to Perth with
It's
with
not
the
nice to
international
fool Mother
consortium
Nature.
to deal with superweed
It's
that have been
chiffon.
created by herbicides like glyphosate.
Demon
So
picture.
that's creating superweed. And these are weeds that are way bigger
It's
and
chiffon.
worse than anything that we've ever seen. And so I'm thinking, how long do superbugs, MRSA, C. diff in the hospital from subtherapeutic antibiotic use? How long does the superweed go? How long do we go this path and assume that our human cleverness is always going to come up with a better concoction and a better way to handle nature's pushback and adaptation to our disrespect?
Let's go to the phones for you. They are lining up. We'll start with east of the Rockies. Well, Robert's with us, truck driving in West Virginia. Hey, Robert, you're on with Joel. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I have seen some things on the internet about undertakers having problems keeping their bodies through arteries. And today I was loading up in New York, load apples, and got to talking with the gentleman, and I asked him what did he think about it. And he said he had 2 undertakers that are brothers. He said he told both of them at home, and both of them told him the exact same thing. That they all having problems with that. And pieces of those like worm-like things are coming out and getting chopped up into the environment fluid. And just wanted to give you anything about that. That's new on me. But I'll tell you, there's more mystery. There's more mystery in biology, more mystery in life than there is empirical information right now. So it doesn't surprise me. What an amazing story. And it's new to me. I don't know about it.
I haven't heard about that one either. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate your call. Brendan's with Kansas, Austin,
It's
Texas.
not nice.
Take it away. Hey, Brendan, go ahead.
Thanks, George and Joel.
It's not.
Great show tonight, and I know I talked about this before, but it's another topic. Almost everything we talked about comes down to it here. But we got to influence United and get money out of politics. You know, we got farmers like this who are up against an army of corporations who will lobby to subsidize to keep the toxic food cheap and the healthy food expensive. So there was a documentary in 2008 called Food Inc. that really did a great job of showing that. So Joel, tonight, my question is clearly something that would be obvious for us to move forward is that we should be collectively breeding foods that require less and less water. For the past 100 years, we've been focusing on collectively breeding foods that have more sugar and less nutrition. So in like 1950s, we lost 80% of the nutrition of the food that we eat. For example, an orange had 21 times more vitamin A in 1950s. Onions and potatoes no longer contain any vitamin A. Broccoli had 4 times as much calcium. And for an apple, it would take 100 apples to get 1 apple of vitamin C in 1950, which is insane. So I think that we should be relatively and less water. Seems so obvious.
Couldn't agree more. Absolutely. The same thing is happening with livestock. The eggs, the same thing is happening. And there's an outfit called the Bionutrient Food Association, and they're trying to measure the mineral vitamin content through a spectrophotometer. That's the thing that's handy on NCIS has where you put a piece of paint in it that gives you all the inputs of the paint, and they're trying to make a handheld model where you can actually go and walk through the supermarket, walk through the farmer's market, whatever, and you actually get a measure, and they are finding the same thing. Like they've already wanted things like carrots, and sadly you have to eat like 100 carrots of the worst quality carrots. Get the same nutrition as 1 carrot of the best quality. There is a huge variety based on overall soil fertility. The entire industrial food system thrives on non-differentiated, on homogeneity food systems.